your future was out front of you, way out front of you. For these 40 young men, this is the case, and the future is bright. In Fort Myers, Florida, JetBlue Park is a field of dreams. As the best 14U players in North America, Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic have gathered for the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. After more than a half-decade of dedication, they take their first giant steps towards their dreams tonight on Fox Sports. In beautiful Lee County, Florida, on the West Coast, which is the best coast tonight, the Perfect Game Select 14U All-American game, the very best in the land, East against West. This is the spring training home of the Boston Red Sox here at JetBlue Park here in Fort Myers. Perfect game. Founded in 1995, growing the sport with the largest independent scouting department in all of baseball. When you look at the June draft, almost all of it, up and down, top to bottom, perfect game alum. And the cause, pediatric cancer, the larger events, more than $1 million raised for the fight against pediatric cancer. Hi there, folks. Certainly glad to have you with us, and welcome back to the ballpark. National cross-checker Jeremy Brown, his insights. Dimitri Young, more than a dozen years, 13, a baker's dozen in the big leagues. My name is Darren Sutton. Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. So, Dimitri, when you were young, you were this good. You were as good as these young men. You've spent the last couple of days. How much joy have you seen, and who has caught your eye?
You know, it's been a lot of fun being down here with these young players, and I have to remember I was one of those elite players, and one of those elite players that caught my eye was Jeffrey Waters, 13 years old, by far the youngest one here. Had a chance to coach him at the Elite Development Invitational in 2016. He's an absolute freak. Sorry for stealing that, Jeremy, but this kid is an absolute beast on the mound and hitting. And then there's Grigio from Simi Valley, California, my next-door neighbor. Anyway, I heard things about this young man, and he will actually tell you so. He has the biggest mouth, and he's the hardest working player out there.
He is fun to watch. So give us the scout's perspective, your insight seeing these players. He saw what he liked as the former major leaguer. What are the scouts talking about? It's an interesting age to watch. Who has grabbed your eye?
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's the name that almost resonates through 14U baseball with Blaze Jordan. Almost goes by just one name now. You know him as Blaze. When you see Blaze, just won our home run derby, won the 14U National Player of the Year last night at our banquet dinner. It's the power. It's the approach. It's everything you want in a young hitter, and it plays. It's just not a home run derby type deal. He's already committed to Mississippi State. Big-time talent. Then you got Nick Bitsko out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, our #1 ranked player already, right-handed pitcher, has talent with the bat, up to 90 yesterday in our scrimmage, 6'3", everything you want there, and we're only just scratching the surface.
It's so much fun to see these players as they go to work, certainly. Obviously, these players, too, have had their lives touched in different ways, especially around Louisiana and Texas. There is Brodie Drost from Sulphur, Louisiana, and from Friendswood, Texas, Isaac Pacheco. Both of those young men understand what has been going on, and the nation's eyes have been upon them. Shannon Ford, the fourth member of our broadcast team, has more.
Hurricane Harvey has obviously captured the nation's attention, bringing devastation to the people of Texas and its surrounding states. I'm here with two of the Perfect Game participants who are affected by the disaster. Isaac, let's start with you. You're from Friendswood, Texas, just outside of Houston. What did you see from the storm?
I'm lucky enough for my house to be good, but all my friends' houses are destroyed. A lot of them had to go on the roof to get rescued by helicopter because the water was coming in so bad.
We're happy to hear that your family and your house is safe. You, Brodie, are obviously from just a little bit outside in Louisiana. Your home, you said, was also okay from the storm. But let's talk about baseball. Let's bring it back. You're a good two-way player, a left fielder and a pitcher. What are you hoping to showcase tonight?
I'm hoping to showcase my skills in the outfield. Like, people think that I'm just a pitcher, and I like to show them that I can hit too. So.
Well, best of luck. Best of luck to you both. Good luck out there. We look forward to seeing you, guys.
By the way, our thoughts and prayers with Brodie's grandmother, who is a Houston Texan resident. She said that everything turned out okay. The gentleman checked in. The swag was there. What a unique experience, top to bottom. We'll introduce you to each one of these players when we come back. The Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival is brought to you by Rawlings, the #1 glove of pro players. Rawlings, the mark of a pro. And by Diamond Kinetics, engineering better players. A part of the Perfect Game All-American Classic in San Diego means Rady Children's Hospital. Here in Fort Myers, Florida, it's Golisano Children's Hospital. Nearly $25,000 raised by these players alone. Shannon Ford is standing by with Irv Carter, a gentleman who led more than any one of his mates, raising nearly $3,000. Shannon?
That's right, Darren. Down here with Irv Carter, who raised nearly $3,000 for Golisano Children's Hospital. Irv, tell me why this is so near and dear to your heart.
It was very near and dear to my heart because my sister does have venous malformation, and it's just great to raise money for those great kids.
Such an amazing cause, and obviously we're so happy that you were able to support Golisano Children's and your sister, honor your sister. What can we expect from you out here on this field tonight?
Basically to just pound our zone and have a blast.
Awesome. Good luck, Irv. Thanks for having us, guys.
Very good, Shannon Ford. Look forward to hearing you all throughout the evening. By the way, Irv is set to work here in just a couple of innings or so. Christian Little. Little is the right-hander, and where's number 40 on that back out of St. Louis, Missouri, Christian Brothers High School. H, tell us a little bit more about him.
Yeah, Christian, I mean, he delivered two of the best performances I saw this summer at the 14U level. One hit, two of the top teams. He's going to come at you with 3 pitches, up to 86, 87 miles an hour. As you see his frame, he's not even close to being physically developed. We're just touching the surface, just turned 14 years old. He's going to go change up first pitch, hopefully, here to open the game. But we'll see.
Perfect Game does a great job in developing future professional umpires as well. And the umpires working in this one tonight. Lou Marotti is behind home plate. Lou's got to be patient. Steve Ward and Joe Saganiak and Jesus Juice Miranda is the third base umpire. This is a youth game, but it's for television, and these young men are used to going in and out and in and out, and so kudos to these umpires who have worked with our broadcast crew as well. Eric Pena will lead things off, and again, everyone who is on the position player roster will hit. We won't show you the starting 9 because Dimitri is about a starting 17 when you look on down. Everyone gets to hit. So Eric Pena, the young man out of his Dominican Republic, and he was a young man who came up to the 14U National Showcase. This has got to be heart-pounding stuff for these guys. You talk to a lot of them. Are they anxious for this moment?
Oh, they're very anxious. First of all, you mentioned that 88 million could be watching right now, and so I know last night after you told them that their heart started pounding, but, you know, once the game begins, you know, the best versus the best, and we're going to see what rises to the top right here.
Pena is a Florida international commit out of Distrito Nacional in the Dominican Republic. He has been to 5 perfect game events. This is a young man that this year has been homeschooled and been able to take care of his classwork in the left side of the batter's box. We're glad you're with us. They play him to shoot it the other way just a bit. And let's play some baseball with the first pitch. Fastball fired in there, and we are underway.
Really like the position that Pena's in. I watched him take batting practice yesterday, real loosey-goosey with his hands, and then he explodes through the zone. So I really want to see him take a nice, healthy hack against him like he already did on strike 1.
1-1 the count on the Dominican native. Fastball inner half, popped up third base side, and that is Isaac Pacheco. We talked about him out of Friendswood, Texas. He has a lot of work to do when he gets home. It's not in his home, but a lot of family and friends he plans on helping out. So Pena was at the 14U National Showcase, and so was Bryant Colon, who is out of Green Acres, Florida, originally out of Puerto Rico. These two players opened eyes at that National Showcase, didn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, Pena coming up from the Dominican Republic. Then you got Colon here going opposite way. What Colon did all summer was hit. Over 500 on the summer. They just both have the tool packages you look for.
It was a good breaking ball down and away, and Colon did what you're supposed to do with it, as it was rolled to the right side, and Blaze Jordan, the slugger out of Mississippi, making the play for the out. This is Joe Mack. He's a catcher out of Williamsville, New York. And this is a young man that when the original rankings of the 21 grads came out wasn't on the rankings. That means it's been a very good May and beyond. He has been very good on the national scene, and of course one of 4 talented catchers in this class.
Yeah, absolutely. With Mac, I mean, you get the defense, the strong arm. You also get the left-handed bat. He was in the finals for the home run derby today, and he's just not done. He's a fun kid to be around. He understands the baseball with his brother, and he just keeps growing as a player every time we see him.
You know what? I want to add to the simple fact that he's 14 years old, already hitting the ball for power, and a very tough position being a catcher. You know, that's a very demanding position, but upon watching his mannerisms, and of course he has an older brother that he's following behind, he's playing the right position. He's hard-nosed, and the way that he swings the bat, you know, I like to see him in a few years when it's draft time.
Good-looking breaking ball. Mac waves over the top of it. Good tight spin. 12-6 break, Dimitri.
There's not too much you can do against that one except swing and miss. Wow.
I mean, backdoor back-to-back pitches.
And then a fastball over the inner half, blows it right by him. Mac goes down on strikes. A very good start for the young man. Christian Little announcing his presence with authority. Hey, are you watching St. Louis, Missouri? He's one of yours. Moving on to the bottom half of the first inning and allowing you to meet another pitcher, Alejandro Rosario. The right-handed hurler goes to work, and this is a young man on the East squad that's out of Miami, Florida. He is ranked as the #3 right-handed pitcher in the state of Florida. Miami Christian High School. Tell us more, H.
I mean, you see right there, electric's the first adjective we used to describe him, and that's truly the best word to describe him. He's 14, 15 years old, up to 93 every time we see him this summer, and it's a ranking that's only going to continue to improve.
And so here goes the East squad now, going to work, and that big arm on the mound. They go to work defensively in those black jerseys. By the way, Christian Little touching 86 miles an hour. He threw only 8 pitches. We'll keep track of the velocity thanks to TrackMan, and we will let you know. But Christian Little, the first pitcher in this game for the West squad, top reading 86 miles an hour. This is Rock Grigio. This is who Dimitri wanted to talk about coming on the air. He's out of Simi Valley, California. He's also a gold medalist with the U.S. national team on the U15 squad out of Chaminade Prep. 5 feet 9 inches tall. Energy. I mean, all sorts of energy as he fouls it back.
That was an absolute rip right there that he took right there, and that's what he brings to the table. I'm very excited to watch. What a swing right there. Ball's a little up in the zone, but this guy here, he's very aggressive. That's what I heard about him, and that's what we're getting to see right now.
And fastball misses in and off the plate. 1-1 the count to Grigio. We've seen personality plus for him, certainly, but there's talent there. Obviously, when you wear a gold medal, when you represent Team USA, that speaks for itself.
Yes, it does. And the way that he talks in that dugout, I'm sure he kept those young men loose the entire time.
You mentioned USA. You got Rosario, who was also on that 15U team with Rock, so he knows he's going to throw hard, hence the first pitch hacking. 90 miles an hour first fastball, up to 91 already from Rosario, and he's just climbing.
Man, I love Rock's his mannerism. I love his actions. It reminds me of Bryce Harper or the young man out of Boston, Andrew Benintendi.
You almost got it.
I almost got it. It's a tongue twister.
You got all the vowels right. I like it. Out of Arkansas as that fastball sails up and out of the zone.
92 miles per hour there from Rosario. You just see Rock, he's not afraid. And that's what you guys have alluded to. There's just so much confidence. You brought him up on the stage last night, Darren. Most 14-year-olds might not be into it. He's all about it.
And look how he hustles out of the box.
There's no lack of energy for baseball or just life in general for Rock. It's always 100%.
Fly ball to the left side, and certainly the energy. He ended up all the way at second base. Rock Grigio out of Simi Valley, California. And this is what Dimitri is talking about. This is what turns the head of a former pro.
Right out of the box, he knew he popped it up. But you know what? If that ball's dropped, he's going to be safe at second.
1-0 the count to Noah Smith out of Chicago. Smith, right-handed hitter, right-handed thrower, was at the 14U National Showcase. Perfect Game's first of its kind. Obviously, the Junior National and the National Showcase here in June. That National sending so many players into next year's draft. Slider, fly ball, center field. Easy chance. Mario Zabala puts that one away for the second out of the inning. Couple of quick outs. Good slider there. Blaze Jordan home run champion as he continues to collect trophies. Now, when you understand the ages of 13 to 15, a very young 15 or an old 13 at this 14U age group, this gentleman hit 5 out yesterday on a major league backfield and was routinely hitting them out today, shrinking this ballpark. Those numbers are right out of South Haven, Mississippi. He's often talked about. He's a pitcher as well. He'll pitch later on as he takes strike one.
Yeah, I mean, with Blaze, like we said earlier, you hear the legend of Blaze Jordan. And then I went and saw him this first time this summer, and within the first game of watching him, he goes yard over 100 miles per hour off the bat with Wood. And you just say, it's for real.
You know, I'm watching his approach up there at the plate, and it's very quiet, very sound, and kind of reminds me of Mark Trumbo up there, you know, just a big, lumbering, strong man who does everything right at the plate.
Lays off that slider down and away. Pretty good pitch, and he did not go around. He has been fearless playing up. He has played all the way up to the 17U level this year in perfect game events, and he is homered at the 14, 15, 16, and 17U age groups in these tournaments. That time, good fastball. Too much for him. He really turned that one loose.
Yeah, Rosario, I mean, he's literally sitting 91, 92. We're talking about a 15-year-old right-handed pitcher. As you can see on your screen, it's not just velocity. He's sinking it. He's locating away. He's got the changeup. He's got the slider.
Broken bat, middle of the diamond, ranging the shortstop behind the bag. Brady House
Great play.
And that's
makes
what
the
House
play
does.
for the out. House covering a lot of ground. Jordan, certainly we've learned about his power that time. Good pitch away. He opens up just a little bit and how much this experience has meant to him.
You have like all the top players here. I mean, just to meet them, and I've never even met some of these kids before, and they're super nice, super humble people, and I mean, it's just a great experience, and I'm just really blessed to be here.
The best 14U players in the land, the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. We move into the second inning. We introduce you out of Lebanon, Kentucky, to Ethan Wood. He was a member of that U15 national team that won gold. Wood is a Louisville commit. Tell us more about this stuff.
So Ethan Wood's one of the few players we actually had to look up to. He's listed at 6'5". What he's going to do is come out and he's going to attack. He's long, he's loose, he's athletic. He's going to be upper 80s. He's got a feel for his breaking ball, and we're going to see what he does against some of these Power East bats.
I did have to look up to him. He's about 6'6". I stand 6'5", an older man 6'5", certainly. As this right-hander goes to work and a fastball sails high and in. This is Mario Zabala out of San Juan in Puerto Rico. Mom Zoila certainly proud of all of his accomplishments out of the International Baseball Academy. He plays travel ball for them as well. And the fastball up under the hands is swung right through.
You know, I really liked his swing when he was taking batting practice and also in the home run derby yesterday. But when they played the scrimmage yesterday, he hit a ground ball. And, you know, most guys that are his size normally would jog, or if they sprint, they're not that fast. He almost beat the play out. And I was very surprised because the guy said that he can run under a 4.0 to first base.
I mean, Zabala was at the 14U National Showcase, came up for it, ran a 6'5".
Wow.
We're talking about a kid who looks the way he does physically with top plus type speed.
Wow, that's very impressive for a young man that size.
The breaking ball takes low and inside. He also threw 90 from the outfield. His passion, he'd love to be an engineer someday when we talk about Zabala. So he busts his tail in the classroom in math and science. That's his passion off the baseball field. Boy, good life in on the hands, ranging to his left. And then to their right, they come together. The play unable to be made. Smith, the shortstop. Teplansky, the third baseman. Just tough there when you're playing together for the first time. So we get to see Zabala on the base pads.
You're just going to see him come out right here. There's a quick first step, out of the box clean, gets down the line, and it's everything you want when you look at the speed, the strength. It's all there.
That's like a younger Raul Mondesi. If anybody remembers Raul Mondesi with the Dodgers, he was an absolute beast, and when he ran down, you can hear him sound like a buffalo, but he's coming like a locomotive.
Cole Wagner takes strike one. Wagner of Little League World Series fame from a couple of years back has had a strong summer out of Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, Redland High School, and plays for the Go Wags Lumber Kings, his travel team, Cole.
Yeah, Cole, I mean, he was a national name at an early age, and it's good to see him continuing to develop here. We got stolen base from Mario, again showing the speed. But with Cole, it's a legitimate two-way player on the mound with the bat. We're going to see him pitch later on. So it's someone I'm looking forward to seeing.
Did you know his dad was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, Brett Wagner, and we were organization mates for a couple of years before St. Louis decided to trade me to the Cincinnati Reds?
I did not know that. I do know that behind the plate, an opportunity to throw.
Got some influence around the
Yeah, we have an interference call on the swing there.
So maybe we'll get to see Mario again.
So back to the bag.
Stepping up to your guy here, Jeffrey Waters.
Oh, yeah, just the guy that I want to see right here, the youngest one here at 13 years, 8 months, and question mark on days. He turns 14 in December.
He did know the days, though. I asked, or the months. I asked him, you can't just say you're 13. You got to say the months, so we know you're close to 14.
But looking at him, you would think that he's right in the mix with the kids of their own age. But, you know, he was at the Elite Development Invitational that's held by MLB, the Players Association, and USA Baseball in Vero Beach back in 2016. And I was fortunate enough to be a coach for this young man. And let's just say he can do it all.
That one skids away. There's life on the fastball, so Zabala moves up this time. And Brodie did not have the opportunity to throw a minute ago. Austin Brodie, the catcher out of Columbus, Indiana. We're talking about Jeffrey Waters in the batter's box out of Mableton, Georgia. As the Meat Hook mentioned, still 13 years old. South Cobb High School Team Elite, his travel team. And this is an elite track and field man as well when you're speaking of Waters. Amongst the state's best in the 100 and the 200, that kind of speed. And so obviously when he does run the 60 on the record, it'll be impressive.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're talking about, he's 13. And he's going into his sophomore year of high school. He's going to graduate at 16. It just doesn't really resonate in your head, no matter how many times you say it.
No, it's real exciting to watch when you see someone this young. And you get to see where baseball is headed with the future. And you see in guys like this that if this guy grows up and stays on the right track, you know, he might become a transcendent player. But, you know, we have the best of the best here. Anybody here can be one of those transcendent players.
We got a rundown now between, and good anticipation on the mound. Spin with the wood. Tag play is made, and they got him in a nice rundown and a great job there. In the end, the play was made by Jordan Lawler. And it was just sticking to it, being calm in a game like this. Give Ethan Wood credit.
I mean, he's controlling those long 6'5" levers, and at this age, that's impressive all on its own.
Right back to the screen. He was on that fastball. Watch this one more time. Pitcher gets involved in the play where he needs to, and instead the tag is made on the other side. You've got to be athletic to hold that leg kick. Being that tall, you've got to be a good athlete to hold it for that long.
Well, you have to, or else that play is not going to happen the way that it did. And the way that these young men were able to cut down the runner on the rundown, that was actually good execution.
The West squad in blue, the East squad in black at the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. The finest 14U players in the land. We'll hear from Shannon Ford in just a bit. She's down in both dugouts.
2 pitches ago with Waters, we saw him follow his fastball straight back. That was 90 out of Ethan Wood's hands. He's been sitting 86, 89, touching 90.
Look at him, look at him.
Now you got Jeffrey with his speed into second base.
That's what I'm talking about, that excitement right there. He turned a walk into a walk-in, now in scoring position at second base.
So here's ball 4, and then Dimitri, you take the rest.
Well, he turned his head and he saw the catcher running back for it. He sprinted to first, he turned, and he trusted his own wills, and he easily got into second base. Even though he slid, he was easily in the second base. That's some of the stuff right there that, you know, really excite guys. And he's only 13 years old, and he's doing stuff like this. This is...
Got to see him around the base and kick it into a second gear, too. So it's not just straight line speed.
That was like 6th gear.
Giuseppe Ferraro steps into the batter's box. Fastball hits him. It comes high and tight. Got him in the elbow. Gio will head on to first. He's a young man out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, American Heritage High School. And certainly this is a frustrating moment for him. But again, there's been a lot of life that way on the fastball when we've watched Ethan Wood work on the mound. Listen.
I think he dented the baseball.
Yeah, the baseball's screaming right now.
Big, strong, talented, hit by a pitch. And a good fastball dives down and away. Wild swing by Dorian Gonzalez out of Miami. Belen Jesuit Prep, ex-baseball, his travel squad. And he was at the 14U National Showcase. That's where he turned heads.
Yeah, and that's good to see Ethan come right back after hitting Gio. First pitch strike. You see the sink down in zone, 85 miles an hour. He's feeling it. It's all good.
Showing great composure as a pitcher on the mound right there. That was just a pitch that the catcher couldn't handle right there.
No matter your level, when you're working with a pitcher for the first time, it's tough. It's challenging.
Especially when your ball is moving as much as Ethan's is.
In on the hands, fly ball center field, play is made, put away by Lyle. Dalen Lyle out of Louisville, Kentucky. Couple of runners stranded. A lot of fun on the base paths. These youngsters can run. They may be young men, but this East squad at the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival has a basket full of college commits already, and this is one of them. We heard from the largest fundraiser on the East squad. He's a Miami commit out of Boynton Beach, Florida, Irving Carter, the right-hander, who touched 87 on July 2nd at the 14U BCS, and this is a talented arm.
Yeah, I mean, Irving Carter, as you see here, just the command and the pitch ability. I saw him this summer face Cole Wagner, probably the best 14U pool play game I've ever seen. He's going to show you the fastball, but he's going to double up on the changeup. He's going to double up on the curveball. He's going to mix. He's not going to show you the same pitch more than once. It's going to keep you on your toes, and at this level, that's all you need.
Luke Leto is a great story out of Portage, Michigan. Has come back from a knee injury. He tore his ACL earlier this year. He's worked hard. He's all the way back. And this is a man that was a part of USA Baseball as well at the U14 level. Portage Central High School. Very active outdoors, wakeboarding and wake surfing and snow skiing. When you live in Michigan, you get the best of both worlds. As Carter leaves a changeup up, 1-1 the count.
You know, standing there watching him hit, he kind of looks like Larry Walker up there at the plate, you know, with a wide open stand, the hands nice and relaxed. And I played against Larry Walker. He embarrassed me many a times hitting the ball over my head when I took a step in and saw that backspin he put behind it. But this kid has a tremendous body. Looked like he's going to hit for a lot of power.
And there you already see Irving throwing some 3 pitches so far. The last two have been changeups.
And then follows it up with a fastball that he blows right by him. 2-2 the count. 87
miles per hour in that last one for Irving. And as you see with the body, the delivery, there's just so much more left in the tank.
Changeup inside, has good command of that pitch to Luke Leto. Luke earlier this year had a nice run at the 13U PG World Series. Threw off the mound too. Also played at the 15U level. So this is a young man that's been very active as that fastball, again, set up by the changeups and the thought of the changeup. That makes this one, Dimitri, 86, 87, 88, look like 95.
Well, when you have control of that many pitches, it's basically a crapshoot when you're going out there hitting against a guy that has that kind of control. So it's like pick your poison, and Leto picked the wrong poison.
And again, this is 14U baseball we're talking about. When you're able to just manipulate the baseball as well as Irving is, you see why he's so successful and already committed to Miami.
Kemp Alderman takes a strike over the outside corner. Kemp out of Decatur, Mississippi. Newton County Academy. And he is a young man that is an Ole Miss commit. Ole Miss happy to have him on campus and enjoyed his visits. It's a verbal commit at this age. You don't sign that letter until the fall of your senior year. But we are seeing more and more. And by the way, if you look at the arms of each of these players, you see a lot of strength in those arms. But on that right arm, you'll see their home state represented. A great touch to the uniforms this year as Alderman takes inside with a breaking ball. 2-1.
Yeah, the states, I mean, that's what this is all about, is growing the game at this level especially. And that's what we've done through the first 2 years. We've had 26 states and countries represented with Puerto Rico and with the Dominican with Eric Pena. So
changed up on him right over the top of it. A nice job. Joe Mack out of New York behind the plate, keeping it with him. Again, it's those secondary pitches to make the fastball better and make the aggressive hitter do this.
Oh, my goodness. You know, as a hitter, when you see stuff like that, you know, all you can do is the old verbiage, tip your cap. But I know I'm in the dugout. I'm muttering some bad words about this pitcher.
This is Brodie Drost out of Sulphur, Louisiana, as the changeup misses in. You remember right-hander Ben Sheets, folks? Well, he plays for Ben Sheets' travel team and has done a great job. He also plays for a high school baseball coach who's a legend in amateur baseball, Glenn Cicchini. 2 of his boys are in professional baseball. High fly ball into center field. Mr. Waters has already been heard from. He puts that one away. We'll hear from Shannon Ford, the 4th member of our broadcast team, in a bit. He's having fun, aren't you? So much fun to have this man as part of our broadcast team, and that smile. 13 years in the major leagues. Dimitri Young, hammered deep into right field. Did he do it again? Yes, it's gone. The dulcet tones of Mario Mbemba calling Dimitri Young's 3rd home run in that afternoon. And this isn't Hollywood Squares, folks. Glad to have you back with us at JetBlue Park. Jeremy on the far end. Meat Hook, you love being around these young players, don't you?
Oh, my God. They have so much energy, and the innocence of them loving baseball. It gets no better than this, especially after talking to them last night and how they just lit up and knew that, you know, somebody's been there and done that, and they're going on the right track. And I just wanted to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing, because they're natural-born leaders, and the things that they're doing are also going to help out the other guys on their team.
Raleigh Hector, the right-hander, and we are honored to have, and they are honored to have your insights, is out of Van Alstyne, Texas. The right-handed pitcher goes to work, and the fastball darts over the outside corner with some teeth on it. H, tell us more about who he is.
First pitch there, Raleigh Hector, 88 miles an hour. I wrote down there all the pitchability, the feel, but now you're seeing the velocity from Raleigh, and it's just the feel. They're 14. You just can't get over it. He can mix 3 pitches out well. Already up to 88. We said 87. Already up to 88 tonight. And he's got one of the leaner frames. He's nowhere done growing.
Fastball, and he took a piece out of that bat. Brady House,
he got all up in that kitchen
and puts that one away. House, those big, broad shoulders, trots down the line. We'll get to know him a little bit more out of Winder, Georgia. We'll talk about his mom, Dana, and his dad, Mike, and we'll talk about Brady's brother, Brooks, as well. A real special story, but House that time beaten by a pretty good fastball, and he opens the door for a young, talented catcher, Jaden Melendez. You may remember MJ Melendez, a top pick in the 16 draft out of Palmetto Bay, Florida, pick of the Kansas City Royals, 52nd pick overall. That's his big brother. And so his brother drafted very high, and again was a perfect game All-American. Last summer was a 52nd overall pick in this past June's draft. This young man, different body type, but on that same path, Jeremy, is a catcher.
Yeah, the catch and throw skills, just like we saw with MJ, same apply for Jaden. You see the back pick, you see the confidence that he exudes, and just the ability to control his pitchers. It's not something you see at the 14U level. He makes his pitcher, he's going to shake his head. He's going to let his pitcher know he's doing his job.
He will let us know his college verbal commitment on air tonight here in just a little bit, and he will share that with us. He's very near a pretty darn good catcher as well, Ian Mahler, who is working behind the plate for the West squad out of Iowa. 3-1 the count.
You see Hector here, he's just sitting 87, 88. He's throwing his slider for strikes, mid-70s pitch. It's just the feel and just the ability from all of these pitchers we've seen. Lots of strikes, lots of velocity, nowhere near done growing.
See what the speed is like. Bobbled, if only for a moment, recovering, and the throw is just a little bit high. Luke Leto is the 3rd baseman, but again, this is a catcher with some pretty good speed reaches. We'll go ahead and give him an infield hit on that one.
Straight hustling right out of the box, and you know, when you have guys that are running out of the box, those are total team players right there, and this is the reason why he's here, is because of the hustle. And if he was dogging it out of the box, I'm sure, Jeremy, you would have just turned your head and went next. But
no doubt.
Nick Bitsko out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Central Bucks East High School takes strike 1. And Bitsko, this is a man who has been on the front of everyone's list for a long, long time. He's a Virginia commit, the #1 player in the land when this list was put together for the 21 grads earlier this year. Jeremy, when will Perfect Game update that list in all likelihood?
Yeah, right now we're at 15 deep on the website, but we knew we were bringing 40 of the best here. We wanted to be able to see them all. We put through a whole summer's worth of work just to find these 40 players. So our database is so much bigger than it was at the beginning of the summer. As you see, Jaden again trying to show off his speed with the pick.
And a beautiful throw on the hop from his knees. Wow. Ian Mahler, and there was help out there. There was help in the middle of the diamond. The key there is Isaac Pacheco pinching the middle of the diamond. Pacheco got together with Isaac Rodriguez, and Rodriguez out of Murrieta, California, popped the tag down.
That is absolute great athleticism by Gonzalez to be able to take that ball out of the dirt and apply the tag.
And a fabulous changeup ends things. Again, these players are playing together for the very first time, showing off their skills. Skills? How about Ian Mahler from his knees? You're only as good as your middle infielder, though. And Isaac Rodriguez, oh, did he make that play? Beautiful. Fun, right? Fun at the ballpark. The Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. An opportunity to win $10,000. I'm not going to ask HU to scout it. Dimitri, tell us about this form. How would you like to hit against this?
I wouldn't. I would have got hit right there.
No, yeah, you bet you're having fun.
Yay, I threw up and in on somebody.
She got her shot at $10,000. Fun night at the ballpark tonight. A great idea. This community is, well, look, Lee County supports amateur baseball at such a high level. There will be more than 70 Perfect Game events this year. And obviously the impact on the economy is so large. You're talking about 60,000 room nights. And that's jobs, and that's a good thing. And certainly Lee County and the Sports Commission and the planning enjoys working with Perfect Game and other amateur sports groups that come down here to Fort Myers, Florida, really what it's all about. And these young athletes a chance to play baseball and a chance to do their thing. So doing his thing now, this is Carlos Rodriguez. This young man is another commit, another talented player in that East roster on the pitching side that is already committed. He's a Miami commit. He's out of Miami, South Miami High School.
Carlos is an arm we've been able to see. He's been on the circuit already. Last fall, he was touching 90. You see his face. He still looks like he's 14, 15 years old. He's not even close to being done. Electric arm, up to 92. It's just, the sky's the limit for this one.
That's exactly what it's looking like right now. You know, good pitching so far is dominating over the hitting. And when you have guys that have great velocity on top of great secondary pitches, that's why they're here, and that's what we're getting to see right now.
Let's bring in the fourth member of our broadcast team. We introduce you again to Shannon Ford. Shannon?
Hey, guys, I had the opportunity to speak with Rodriguez before he took the mound. He said he was feeling good, but his face told me otherwise. He looks a little nervous, but he said he'll lead with the fastball, and his strategy out there is just to throw strikes. He said what Mrs. Bitsko did wrong in that contest was she just wasn't reaching with that arm, so he had a little fun with that as well.
Ah, I see. So that was Mrs. Bitsko. Now that's interesting. That's a family tie. That was Sue Bitsko, and so the right-hander now goes to work, and we will see the stuff that Carlos Rodriguez has, and he faces Isaac Rodriguez, who made a fine play defensively as Isaac takes a little cut to that fastball over the outside corner. Middle infielder out of Murrieta, California. And he really honored his dad last night. It was a wonderful tribute he made at the awards banquet to his dad, Jerry. Breaking ball and a dandy hits the outside corner. Isaac shared with us that his dad, Jerry, is doing fine and working hard, and Mom Yvette, certainly they're all working and praying together, but battling cancer and winning the battle with cancer. And so getting to know the real side of these young men has been a fun part of it.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you hear a lot of the passion out of the kids, and he talked about his father being more than an idol to him, and the reason that he's out here playing the game so much is because he has the support from his father. And, you know, I know you like what you see, and I just seen him for one day and love the compact swing, love the hustle, love the instincts that he's showing. And I know in scouting you have the 5 basics, but I know also you look at the instincts, the intelligence, and furthermore, do they love the game?
And he certainly has a drive to get better. He's such a humble kid, quiet kid, but he goes about his business. There's no fear of anything that he does on the diamond. We got to see him with the glove. That's what he's the best with. But he's also got the bat, and hopefully we can see him here do something here.
At Marietta Valley High School, Joe Riley's his head coach. Plays for the Garcia Parra Baseball Group in Southern California. GBG, a name that can be seen at a lot of travel ball ballparks and tournaments. The Inland Empire team for GBG. Breaking ball, and he's a patient young man. He is on, Isaac Rodriguez. The stuff is good, certainly, and you could see good spin on the breaking ball. But Rodriguez seeking that command right now.
Here, I mean, even though he misses with the curveball, you're going 3-2 curveball here in a 14U event. That just shows the type of confidence Carlos has in the pitch and that he's been able to execute it with it in the past.
Ian Muller is out of Dubuque, Iowa. He faces this right-hander. Catcher, we've seen him already throw so beautifully. Out of Wahlert High School. The top-tier travel team, the 16U.
I had an opportunity to talk to him and his folks last night, and he's from Iowa, where a former teammate of mine, Eric Munson, lives, and he's worked with Eric Munson, who used to be a catcher with the Detroit Tigers, also a third baseman, great power, went to USC. But anyway, talk to him about, one, being biracial and having to live in a certain area. You don't worry about that. You let your actions on the field take care of that, and let his parents take care of if there's anything else going on the field, off the field, I should say. But this kid has a great head on his shoulder, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, we had all 4 catchers in a panel last night about leadership and the awards banquet. They did a fabulous job. That fastball darts over the outside corner. It's interesting what Dimitri is talking about, folks, the openness of this group, this Gen Z generation, the way that they see one another. It's so refreshing. They see each other as athletes only, and the other stuff that you're talking about that gets brought up in other places doesn't really shake into baseball. And so Mahler, a good young man and a leader for that. I think they got crossed up there a moment ago. But, H, that's a heck of a breaking ball.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see the spin right here out of his hand. Crossed up, speaks to Jaden to still be able to catch the ball. Ian's out front. Carlos finishes the pitch, already up to 89. And when you have a curveball like that, it's too hard to hit.
TrackMan data. Again. Very good TrackMan data, tracking the velocity. He mentioned 89 miles an hour. We'll do our best to keep an eye on some spin rate numbers, too, as that fastball is rolled foul off the end of the bat to the right side. The West squad, the Blue squad. The East squad in those black jerseys. This is, if you're just stopping by, the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. The finest 14U players in the land. And a beautiful jet blue park, the spring training home of the Boston Red Sox. More than a dozen years in the big leagues, Dimitri Young. National cross-checker for Perfect Game, Jeremy Brown. I'm Darren Sutton.
So you get that curveball from Rodriguez, 2 pitches go, above average spin rate for someone his age, and then he comes back with 90 miles an hour on the outer half.
Left that curveball up, but it done.
Oh, my goodness.
Hall did it third.
Wow.
Oh, Perez gets it done. Joel Perez Jr.
Beautiful.
Goodness. We're talking about Joel. I was talking to him today during BP. I go, your glove's that good. He goes, yeah, but don't sleep on my bat. But when you make plays like this, it's going to be hard to not sleep on the glove.
Oh, Joel, and he had the wherewithal to try to turn a double play. Perez out of Miramar, Florida. This is a non-commit, all you college coaches out there, who has done great things.
There's a smile. I was waiting for it. You knew he was smiling inside, but he finally let it go.
There's our moment. There's always a moment in a game like this, and there will be many more.
That was the hardest hit ball so far tonight, and it was robbed.
Almost forgot I have to introduce everyone to Austin Brodie. Got so caught up in that moment. He's out of Columbus, Indiana. We've got a rundown, and an aggressive turn has Rodriguez in that pickoff. They will have the pitcher as part of the chase, and Carlos gets involved, and Carlos shows his speed. All right. Pitchers are athletes, too. As long as Carlos Rodriguez is okay, it looks like he is.
In the minor leagues, where they're going to learn on pickoff plays and stuff like that, is to minimize the throw. And like you said, they're playing together for the first time, but as he's running a runner to second base, you got him to commit. Right here, he threw the ball too early. Because you definitely don't want to get the pitcher involved in a rundown in any way because of stuff like that just happening.
And they'll learn. These are players that are willing to learn, coachable. They've showed it throughout this time. As that one runs the count to 1-0 on Austin Brodie. Austin's mom is Robin, dad is Max, out of Columbus North High School in Columbus, Indiana. This is a 21 grad, so he's a freshman.
And he's already committed.
to Louisville.
Recent Louisville commit. So you got a future battery actually with him and Ethan Wood. 2 future Cardinals, and it's the bat, it's the catch, and it's just, he's a complete package, and you can see why the Cardinal staff got on him so early.
Well, good cut to that pitch, down and in, right under his swing, 2-1 the count. Bodie's a pretty good athlete, though, folks, and this athleticism was tested with this one.
That was an absolute beautiful pitch right there.
Just one of those pitches, you tip your hat, and you hope to get the next one.
2-1 the count. This talented, well-rounded athlete as he takes a fastball, rolls it right to the middle of the diamond. An interesting pirouette and dance as Carlos Rodriguez made the play. He was all over the diamond. Get that man something to drink. Get those parents more pride.
When I was, I think, 14, started going to showcases, playing with people my age, maybe a little older, and I was competing. I was hanging and going to practices and stuff. My brother was 3 years older, and he was on another level, but I was still hanging in there with those guys as far as skill level. And at that point, I really realized that I had the skill set to do it. I just had to work at it.
Just a few weeks back now, a member of the Los Angeles Angels and a perfect game alum, the first pick overall in the 05 draft, Justin Upton, talking about this age group being 14 years old. This is a 14U All-American game, the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. We'll hear from Upton throughout the evening. His insights so unique as Grant Taylor, a lively arm, goes to work. A couple of big fastballs out of Florence, Alabama, Florence High School, where Steve Garrett is his head coach. And look, we can show you a little bit about who he is as a pitcher. He's already visually giving us some insights.
I mean, the first 3 pitches, we go 92, 91, 91. Grant Taylor's all about the power. We're getting everything we need out of him. He's still developing physically. He's big, he's strong already, but we're not even close to being done. He keeps developing every time we see him.
He's facing Justin Quintana out of Miramar, Florida. Quintana can't handle that slider. Quintana with great power in the home run derby out of American Heritage High School. But again, for this young man, and we'll tell you more about him, but all eyes really are on that last slider, and that's just devastating stuff. My goodness, welcome to the ballgame, Grant Taylor.
You talk about arm speed, you talk about hand speed, you talk about the release of everything. I mean, Grant Taylor's showing everything. You can't just pick it up out of his hand, as we're going to see right here.
Here it is, Dimitri.
Just absolute power. Everything is powerful right there, and Quintana just couldn't get his foot down, get his hands ready, and thus the ball was blown by him, and he was left off balance.
Joel Perez made that fine play at third base not too long ago out of Miramar, Florida. He takes low and outside. Perez has been seen at 14 perfect game events. Mom is Maria, dad is Joel, hence the junior. He pops that bunt up to the right side.
I tell you, he just gets on the mound, and he works very quick for a young man. He knows what he has, and that's a very unfair advantage if you work that fast with that kind of stuff.
He's done some great stuff in the community. Community works part of this. Middle of the diamond, ranging to his left. Look at the speed. That's a great effort attempting to make that play. But you could see the long locks of Luke Leto flowing behind that hat as he tried. But what do? The speed of Joel Perez, that's just a simple infield hit.
Yes, hustled right out of the box. Had a little hiccup at shortstop, and that was just enough for him to beat it out.
Nothing there Luke could have done otherwise. He gets it out, he shows the arm, gets behind the ball. Joel's just that quick.
Speed kills every time, never falls into a slump.
Nicholas Regalado can swing the bat a little bit. We'll see him pitch later on in this game as that fastball jumps out of the zone. Regalado out of Miami Lakes, Florida, is a Miami commit.
Grant Taylor's thrown about a dozen fastballs so far. Only one has not been 91 miles an hour or better, and it was 90.
Runner thought about going pitch just a little bit low to Regalado.
You know, I'm thinking about my 14-year-old self. What would I do against a pitcher like this here? And I already know that I'm ready for the fastball. So I'm geared up for the fastball.
And there it is.
Yes, and I don't know what he was staring at or looking for. That's going to be the best fastball that you're going to see right there. That's going to be in your zone. But then again, I could be wrong.
2-1 the count now. He took a 2-0 fastball that was right there. Just gets far enough away. And working behind the plate, Austin Brodie couldn't handle that one.
I got a TrackMan here next to me. Grant Taylor's about 6'2". When you look at the extension, you want it to average is about your height. Grant Taylor's around 6'6" right now, so that's showing that even you have the arm speed, but he's getting the ball out front. It's giving that extra little late hop.
Those great human metrics of TrackMan, and he is releasing the ball the same as that one sails high. What Jeremy's talking about. As a pitcher, 6 feet 6 inches tall, so getting great extension out front of his body. And we love those TrackMan metrics. If you follow StatCast around Major League Baseball, those numbers, the data is generated by TrackMan and Doppler radar tracking. It's such a unique part of seeing how baseball is enjoyed as Regalado gives way to Carson Montgomery, another pitcher who gets an opportunity to hit. We'll see Carson throwing a couple of innings out of Windermere, Florida. He's a Florida State University commit.
And he's an ultra athlete. You're going to see him here with the bat. You're going to see him later on with the arm, big time arm. Just an athlete, 6'8" runner this past winter. So he's only going to get stronger.
And with saying that, I'm watching him on the plate. He looks like he's a little bit close to the dish, especially with a guy who's pounding the ball inside.
Runner takes off, draws the throw is high. The aggression is good for the E squad as they strike first. Joel Perez took off. Joel a hustle single. Joel headed to third, and Austin Brodie sailed that one just a little bit high as it went into left field. So in this one, it's the E squad striking first.
That's just straight hustle right there from Joel Perez Jr. A lot of energy. Made a great diving play last inning, and of course gets in there, get an infield hit, advance, and then scores.
All these players, you know, they watched the game last year, so they're excited as the East squad. Since West took it down last year, East gets to the early lead here, and you know that's in the back of their heads. As much as it is an all-star game, they want to win.
East leading 1-0. There's a lot of talented players on both sides. Good lively fastball on a 2-0 count to Montgomery. So we're talking about the all-around athleticism and an underclass showcase in December here in Fort Myers. This pitcher ran a 6'8", 160 and threw 92 from the outfield. So you bet he's a good all-around athlete. Good in the classroom too. Student government member, honor roll student. We're hearing more and more of these players realizing that, and especially when you get to the 18U level, at the perfect game All-American level, where players are routinely drafted in the first round the next year, they realize that their schoolwork can separate them from their competitors when it comes to the draft, when it comes to the stereotypical athlete that doesn't apply themselves in the classroom is gone. And these athletes have got to make good decisions on Friday and Saturday nights, and they are.
Yes, and back when I was their age, going through the high school ranks, I was a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior state player of the year in the state of California. I had supportive parents that kept myself out of trouble, made sure that I was getting it done in the classroom and also on the field, and being a good example for those in the community. So these guys had taken it above and beyond for what I was doing back in 1989 and 91.
Diving attempt, unable to make the play out there. Drost can't hang on to it. Let's hope he's all right. He's checking his wrist there, and a high pop to the right side out of Brooklyn, New York. That's Christian Moore, beaten by the fastball, and you hope Drost, as he works to shake that one off Brodie. Let's hope he's all right.
Ooh, great effort. You saw that wrist bend back, and that's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous when that happens.
And he'll explain exactly where he got in a tough situation. A member of the training staff, these athletes, and again, you put them in this spot, Dimitri, there is no way they're not going to go all out. There's no way they're not going to extend themselves with a big aggressive dive.
No way. That's in their DNA. They definitely hustle. They know they're on television, so they know they don't want to dog it. But when you're playing and you see a ball hit, you know, it's a baseball game once it begins, regardless of it being an exhibition or you name it.
I mean, Brodie talked about wanting to be known as much for his outfield play as we know him for his pitching on the mound, and there you see 110%. He's going to go full out for everything he can get to.
Out of Sulphur, Louisiana. We spoke with him in the open. He was blessed to find out his grandmother, who is a Houstonian, and her home, though it took on water, is okay. They were going to fly out of Houston. They ended up making what turned out to be a day-and-a-half drive from Sulphur, Louisiana, down here to Fort Myers, Florida. They'll get that wrist checked out. You saw Austin Flores, his head coach, out of Bishop Verot here in Fort Myers, Florida. A.J. Reyes is also on the West squad as far as the coaching staff goes. And so we will work to find a new right fielder and continue to check to see how everyone is feeling out there.
We've got Jordan Lawler going out to right field right now.
Jordan Lawler, an all-around athlete, an infielder who has played in the infield some tonight out of Irving, Texas, Jesuit College Prep. And that athlete will have his opportunities at track and field and a football and a basketball MVP caliber athlete. So he's very comfortable wherever you put him.
Yeah.
Let's hope Brodie's okay. Let's hope Brodie's okay. And we go back to the top of the order. And Eric Pena, who popped up to the third baseman as he started this ball game off, the top of the fourth inning. The East squad scoring a run on that effort, by the way, and that we were so concerned about what was going on with Drost that a run did Regalado come on down to score. So 2-0 is the score, with the East squad on top. Fastball skips far enough away. As Moore moves all the way to third. Christian Moore out of Brooklyn, New York, has moved on to third base.
Talks with Taylor's power here too. Still sitting 88, 89, 90, up to 91 out of the stretch. Usually young players you might see a dip in velocity when you have to work out a stretch, less momentum, but he's still there. He's still pounding. His extension's up to 6'8" now. So
wow,
that's very impressive.
Father played football at North Alabama. Mom, Emily, attended Ole Miss University. Taylor out of Northern Alabama, Florence High School. We mentioned Steve Garrett as head coach a couple of years back. Brax Garrett, a very high draft pick of the Marlins organization. Gifted left-handed pitcher. When we come back, we've got a surprise for you. One of these talented players is going to commit. Uh-oh. Dad is sitting to the right. What's happening? We'll find out.
Down here with Jaden Melendez. Jaden, I hear you have a big announcement for us. What do you got?
Yes, ma'am. Well, after much consideration and talking it over with my family and just thinking about it, I'd like to thank God, and I'm blessed and honored to say that I've committed to play baseball and continue my education at FIU and be a future Panther.
Future Panther right here. And as he suits up, I'm going to talk to Dad, who also happens to be the coach of FIU. Let's talk about, as a dad, how proud are you of this moment?
Well, I'm extremely proud of Jaden. I think he's worked very hard throughout his whole entire career, and he's got a great role model in his brother, MJ Melendez. So very excited that he's going to continue to work hard. He's going to continue to earn whatever accolades he gets from here on out, and excited that he's part of this PG Festival event. Perfect Game, as we know, they do a great job, and they do it the best.
And of course, as a dad and a coach, you will make sure that he works hard. Jaden, you've got the swag on. What went into the decision?
Well, I had to talk it over with everybody and just think about it. And even though people are like, oh, well, your dad's the coach, you know, it's not that easy, because then you got to consider all the factors of playing for your dad and how tough it would be, and then thinking about other colleges. So it was definitely it was tougher than people think that it was.
All right, well, congratulations, sir, and we will let you get back into this game so you can show your stuff to the fans of Florida International. Guys?
Great stuff. Florida International University, the commitment there. That's not a huge surprise, but that's a fun moment, and that's part of what has gone on. MJ, his brother, who is now a professional, as we mentioned, was a commit to Dad as well at Florida International University. The man on the mound is a talented arm, number 25 on the back of that jersey. He's out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. He, too, Little League World Series fame. This is Alex Edmondson out of Malden High School in South Carolina.
Edmondson's a player, as you see down at the bottom, continues to refine, continues to grow into his body. We've seen a higher arm slot out of him this summer. With it comes more velocity. You got the plane on it, up to 90 on the first pitch out of his hand this game, showing you the slider. It's just easy, and it's free, and it's just a big body that's going to continue to develop.
He has been in 14 perfect game events. He's so proud of his brother Tyler, who is a member of the United States Army, as he takes over the inside corner. That strike three. As a matter of fact, he thinks about his brother a lot, who's been to Iraq already, and his big brother will probably go back, and we thank his brother for his service. This is the arm, though, Dimitri, that he's talking about.
Absolutely explosive out of the hands, and he was mixing his pitches up, so Lawler was very much off balance, and a 3-2 fastball running into the hands, and he was frozen pizza.
Jordan Lawler out of Irving, Texas, Jesuit College prep. We'll introduce you a bit more when he hits a little bit later. But family pride, as we mentioned, very important for Alex. He mentioned his brother Tyler. He mentioned his other brother Brandon, older brother, who plays at Southern Wesleyan. He's a pitcher at Southern Wesleyan. Proud of his brothers. And I would imagine they're proud of him. He faces Isaac Pacheco. Good secondary pitch. The young man out of Friendswood, Texas. Good change of pace there. Pacheco, we heard coming on the air. He will be helping a lot of his friends in his neighborhood when he gets back home. His home was spared by Hurricane Harvey and the storm that came through and did so much damage, but a lot of his friends were not.
Wow, he's really mixing his pitches up with 2 changeups and that running, look like a running fastball right there.
Down in the zone, 89 miles an hour. Again, big extension out of Edmondson here, over 6'5". He's not that tall, so you're getting above average extension. It's just, you saw the pitch prior through the curveball across his body, comes into Lawler, 89 in on the hands. You're just frozen. There's just not much you can do.
No, not at all. The pitcher's on top of his game is going to be good hitting every single time, and that's what we've been seeing a lot of tonight.
Over the top, turned that one over. Good, real strong command there. Had him way out front. Pacheco goes down on strikes.
Just another beautiful setup right here, and caught him off balance, and there's nothing you can do when you're Pacheco except run back to the dugout.
Hunter Teplansky and his opportunity out of Temple, Texas. Breaking ball is inside for a strike.
I had an opportunity to watch this young man. He's the only switch hitter that's on either team, and he has a nice swing on either side.
90 there on the last pitch from Alex Edmondson. He's just pumping. You're seeing everything. It's free, it's easy, it's moving, nothing straight. It's going to be tough to square him up.
Who would you compare him to? You being a scout and having to do an MLB comparison.
I mean, off the top of my head, I don't have one for you, but I'm sure you do.
I was thinking Garrett Cole.
I mean, it's life and it's explosive, and you can see him continuing to develop into a power pitcher type build, so it's definitely in there for him. Pounding the zone, pounding the knees, 89 there, just missed. You see, but you have Teplansky as well, as you said, true switch hitter, right-handed, left-handed, power, barrel feel, it's all there for him.
Out of Belton High School, Hunter is. Texas Sticks, his travel ball team. Little floating changeup up and in, and the play unable to be made by Edmondson, who is trying to get to the bag, win the sprint to the bag, and Hunter's speed, though this is a big guy here. And the first baseman and the pitcher, maybe didn't get together.
No, and on that play right there, first baseman should have called the pitcher off immediately and let the pitcher cover first base. But like you said, this is an exhibition game where you have the best versus the best. And when you're playing team ball, those plays are usually made because you go over them. But in an all-star setting like this, you just go with instincts.
Fastball. A little bit too tough to handle. Mr. Mack had his hands full there. And so the runner will move up. Turned that one loose, and that's a good call right there. You saw Joel Perez come in and just let him catch his breath. He was covering first a moment ago. It's a warm night. Maybe just the excitement of the moment. Give him a chance just to calm down. Dalen Lyles out of Louisville, Kentucky. And he takes low, jumps ahead in the count. 2-0. Trinity High School, the Doolin Dodgers, a really respected travel team. And Lyle is an Indiana commit. I want to play in the Big Ten.
That's a good pull for Indiana to get him this early, right out of Louisville. You got two major programs right there, top SEC, top ACC, and Indiana was able to go and get him early and it looks like they got a good one.
Kyle Schwarber's out of Indiana.
He sure is.
Kind of has me fired up. See old Dalen put on the Hoosier baseball uniform as that one is inside. He will reach. It's a major bat flip on a walk there.
Hey, sometimes you got to make a walk look good. But. Here we go. Back. And he pimped the walk.
I like that. Tyler Whitaker with an opportunity. Whitaker, we will see him work a little bit later on in the game. As a matter of fact, he's ready to work. He'll hop back out there onto the mound out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's going to go play for Jay Johnson. It's a verbal commit to the University of Arizona. #1 player in the state of Nevada out of Arbor View High School.
What a nice young man he is. Had an opportunity to talk to him. He came and introduced himself, and when he told me he was from Las Vegas, we all know what's been coming out of Las Vegas the last few years. A lot of big-time MVP bats.
Chris Bryant's one of his favorite players. He's had a chance to meet him. You're talking about Bryce Harper as well. And all these Vegas guys come back and work out with the young, talented high school players. I love that part of what they do in Las Vegas.
That is pretty sweet. That's the way that you put a city on the map. You know, you have a couple of guys make it, and then they're coming back and helping these younger guys achieve their dream as well.
I'm sorry, H. That's quite a changeup that he is firing up there. Mr. Edmondson, he had him very uncomfortable. Jeremy, this is an impressive part of the arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, 73 miles per hour right there. If you're sitting gearing mid-upper 80s and you get that, you're going to be frozen. You're going to be stuck out on your front side, and you can't blame Whitaker on that swing.
Alex Edmondson, does he throw another? Nope, it's a fastball. It's right by him. That's all right. That's the third out of the inning. We've seen the catchers have to work in this contest, and we saw a catcher commit in this inning. And when there are backstops, you look at the #1 player in the land, a senior in high school, Will Banfield. But there is Joe Mack here. He's trying to fill those big shoes. Ian Mahler. The talented catchers like Jaden Melendez and Austin Bodie. All these catchers working well here at the PG Select. By the way, don't cave in at all. So what?
I'm out here at the Green Monster. The pesky pole is out in right field, but hopefully you guys can find me. Like I said, I'm in the Green Monster. It's a little bit more unique than the one at the real Fenway. We're at Fenway South, JetBlue Park. This one has some netting, which is guarding me from fly balls. Right below me is the scoreboard. It's a manual scoreboard, and fun fact, it is one of the originals from the original Fenway Park. It was in storage for years before this complex opened in 2012.
Outstanding stuff, Shannon. You're safe up there. You realize it, right? You're completely safe. She's so far away, I don't know if she can hear us.
I cannot.
Shannon Ford up there in left field. Great stuff with a member of our broadcast team. So we just saw him deal with a pitcher. Now he is one. Tyler Whitaker, we mentioned, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And Bryant Colon, who earlier in this contest rolled out to the right side out of Green Acres, Florida. Puerto Rico is where he was actually born and raised, Bryant Colon. He goes to work, and these two battle. The Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival, the finest in the land. The 14U age group. First pitch fastball over the outside. Strike one.
Now, you talked about Tyler Whitaker being a top athlete in his age group from Nevada, and he has a verbal commit already to the University of Arizona. Here's my question to you. I'm very fascinated on the recruiting process now, because way back in 1990 and 91, I went through the whole thing, but it was going into my senior year, and I wound up taking 2 recruiting trips, one to the University of Texas, one to the University of Miami, and I chose Miami, but I was a senior when I did that.
Yeah, I mean, the process is expedited so much now. We have the game here, 14U level, 19 kids are already committed. That's 19 of the 40. It's just, if you're not on them already, you're almost behind the ball, and it's crazy because these kids haven't just starting their high school season.
Breaking ball, fly ball, left field. A little bit of an adjustment for Mr. Smith. He is over, under, and out as he hauls that one in. Noah Smith puts it away. Continue your thoughts, gentlemen.
I mean, yeah, you have schools with multiple commits. Jaden is now going to be the 3rd commit in the 2021 class for FIU. You got Miami, who has more than a couple commits here. They're putting their classes together earlier, and I think it's also a testament to the young talent, bigger, stronger, faster at a younger age. And with such, you're seeing the development earlier on, and you're able to identify the top players at an earlier age.
So when they do have these verbal commitments, when are they allowed to sign the actual national letter of intent?
Same as probably you leading into your senior year, the fall of, I believe it's November 1st is when they actually put the pen to paper for the early signing period.
So are they able to decommit, or?
Up until then, it's only a verbal.
It's your word.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's a gentleman's agreement, so to speak.
Okay.
Joe Mack, the catcher out of New York. We saw him as we went to break. Fun to see him hit. We were talking about his brother Charles, who's 17 years old, who is a Clemson commit and a big leader in his life. Says he tries to make me work a little harder. It's a healthy kind of competition as Joe drives that one. Well struck to right field. Grigio tracks back and puts that one away. Fly ball to left field, and we should check that, by the way. Christian Little is in left field for Brodie Drost, who came out of the game. Fly ball to right field where Grigio put it away.
Mac put a real good swing on that ball, and ran him out the next 2 years. That ball's definitely going into the bullpen. We just got to remember these young men are 14 years old. Couple 15, and Jeffrey Waters 13.
13-8.
13-8, that's correct.
Mario Zabala, the pride of Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico, takes low and inside. Perfect game saw him at the 2016 Caribbean Showcase in November. Ran a 6.7, 660 through 86 from the outfield. And that one sails outside. 2-0 the count. What kind of velocity readings are we seeing from Whitaker thus far?
Yeah, you're seeing Whitaker 84, 85 right now. You got, when you look over here at the numbers, he's got a shorter extension. Usually what that translates to is more sink on the fastball. You're down on the ball, it's shorter, just straight downhill. And you're seeing that with Whitaker. He's sinking at 84, 85, and that's going to make the fastball just that much tougher to hit when it's down in the zone.
On the West squad, Christian Little topped out at 86, Ethan Wood 90, and we'll show you these numbers a little bit later. Raleigh Hector at 88, and Grant Taylor 92 miles an hour. The high velocity readings for the West squad as that one sails high up and out of the zone, and Zabala earns a walk. We'll see Cole Wagner pitch here in a little bit, but Wagner with his second at bat. By the way, Zabala's been on twice tonight.
Within 3 pitches, I bet you he's going to second.
Okay, you've got him moving. That 6.50.60 you told us about that he ran at the 14U National Showcase. Really high barrel speed, impact momentum. A couple of the Diamond Kinetics metrics, Diamond Kinetics, I should say. He was right at the very top. As that one misses inside. Look at this. This is a future 14U All-American. Oh, yeah, he's ready.
Oh, he's got the last name, too, Cuts.
Nice little backhanded play and a snap throw. And sneaking back in just in time. Nice job keeping that one close.
It's Ian Mahler again behind the plate, and it's just in and out. Glove, pick it, go back, Kemp, down with the tag. Mario just got back in.
Well, you said he's going on the 3rd pitch. I don't think he's going on a 2-0 count.
Nope.
He took a healthy rip right there, and that's what you would expect out of a middle of the order guy with a 2-0 count. And the one thing that I've noticed, these guys are letting the bat fly. And I know in high school baseball, a lot of coaches like to play for 1 run and have the number 4 hitter bunt. I do a lot of lessons, and I talk to the students, and when they come from college or high school teams where they're talking about playing for 1 run, you know, you get a guy on 1st and 2nd, you had a cleanup guy up, the cleanup guy's bunting. You had an 8 or 9 guy hitting, you have him bunting instead of the number 4 guy. You got to let that guy eat.
I'm going to jump back real quick. I said November 1st. It's always the 2nd Wednesday in November. Early signing period.
Okay.
Well, you really rewinded back a couple of conversations. Well done by you. I like that.
I just want factual information out there.
Fair enough, as that one Misses outside. 3-2 the count.
Ooh, the runner's going to be going, so want to see this guy actually dig, and see this ball hitting the gap to see this guy score from first base.
It's a breaking ball. Pretty good pitch. And a pretty good take we were talking about thanks to TrackMan, these velocity readings. And we love our TrackMan data. So far what we have seen tonight, these are 14U players on the West squads. Highest pitch speeds by inning. Little at 86, Wood with 90, Hector 88. Taylor touching 92 miles an hour, Grant Taylor, and Whitaker thus far 85 miles an hour with some sink. By the way, Little's out there playing left field right now.
And Whitaker just keeps climbing the velocity. Undoubtedly, it's going to keep going as he fills out.
I like this. I like the sink.
Absolutely.
I like the dive on that pitch. I mean, you get stronger, and even if you get up to the high 80s with that kind of life on a baseball.
Yeah, that's a bat breaker. Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey Waters up in a key situation right here. Doesn't seem unfazed by any stretch. The pressure doesn't seem to bother him at all.
At 13, as Dimitri told you about earlier, he's been really active on the travel ball circuit. It's the 24th time he's been seen at a perfect game event. South Cobb High School, and a great program. Team Elite. He stands close to the plate. Hops out of the way as that curveball misses in.
When I saw him, I gave him a big hug, and I was like, you know what? Put your hands up against mine. And his hands overlapped mine. And I have pretty big paws, if you can see him from way out there.
It's over the outside corner.
We were talking about him yesterday. You just look at him. Nothing about him says that he's 13 in 8 months. The arm length, how high his waist is, that he's already physical, and he's still not even 14 years old yet.
Yeah, he has a mature body, but the body's going to mature even more.
Good fastball again. Everything moving from that right arm, and impressive stuff. Tyler Whitaker on the bump.
We need to realize that we need to be kids again, you know? They're enjoying, I mean, they're going through tough things in their life, so like we need to realize how blessed we are that we're able to play the game we love at a very high level. So once it needs to remind us that, hey, have fun and enjoy the moment.
Well, you talk about how these young men, again, 13, 14, 15 years old, have handled themselves. That's Raleigh Hector, and we saw Raleigh pitch earlier in the game out of Van Alstyne, Texas, and out of Anna High School, plays for the Dallas Tigers. He stepped right up. He wanted to comment on his visit to Golisano Children's Hospital and the lives that he was able to impact. He and his teammates raising nearly $25,000 for the fight against pediatric cancer. That's a big part of what Perfect Game. They almost make it mandatory, and they challenge themselves at all of their high-level events. The Perfect Game All-American Classic, this event together, more than $1 million has been raised in the fight for pediatric cancer. Christian Moore now with an opportunity. Moore out of Brooklyn, New York. 6'1", a right-hander. Mom is Lizette. Dad is Charles, and this is his scouting report.
Yeah, you look at him, you see him, he's physical, and he's still young. He's already, I've seen him up to 87, I think maybe even 88, and there's so much more in there. He still says he's a primary shortstop, and we got to see it this weekend, but the arm, the way it works. First pitch there, 89 out of his hands. Like, they're 14.
You know what? You got to credit baseball and the science, the evolution of the game, where we was talking earlier, Jeremy, about did I face pitchers like this? Only the elite. And there are so many guys that are not here at this particular exhibition that also throw as hard as this.
Little communication gap there. Jaden Melendez and Nick Regalado come together, unable to make the play. And
that was definitely the first baseman's ball. Look where Melendez is at and where he has to run to, whereas you're running into the ball as a first baseman.
And that'll happen. Regalado works on the mound as well, and he's playing first. I asked the guys to do that because I wanted to remind you that Ethan Wood is hitting. We've seen him pitch, and we didn't want to let it slide by without introducing you to the #1 player in the state of Kentucky. When you watch Ethan Wood hit,
almost everyone in that last play. You have Christian Moore, a true two-way. You have Ethan Wood, who was hitting home runs last night, 2 nights ago in the home run derby. You have Regalado, who's upper 80s on the mound, playing first, power bat. They're still at the age where they're not defined as a role yet, and that's what you want out of a young player. You don't want to put them on the one track just yet.
Oh, my goodness, a breaking
100%.
ball. And down he goes. Let's get down to Shannon Ford. We've been keeping an eye on Brodie Drost, hoping he's okay out of Sulphur, Louisiana. Shannon, I would imagine he wants to try to get back out there. How's he doing?
He certainly does, Darren. He just ran out to the bullpen. He told me that he's going to certainly try to pitch in this game. Coaches are telling him he's got to figure it out real quick if he wants a shot. When I caught up with him right after he came off the field, he said that he twisted his hand in a way that when the ball smacked his glove, it seemed to dislocate his finger. He immediately got ice on it. So now he's exercising it. He's going to see what kind of mobility he's got with it and if it's a smart move to go out on that mound.
Well, he is a two-way player. Thank you, Shannon, for having the conversation with him. He's a two-way player, and he wants his opportunity to pitch. And if, in fact, he doesn't get that chance, Jeremy will tell you all the positives about him as a pitcher because he's earned the right to be here. And you hope you can tell it's that glove hand, Dimitri. He's just uncomfortable with the glove hand. Looks like the throwing arm fine, but it's that glove hand that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the hand that you have to be ready to catch the ball with. And we're seeing him trying to get ready to go out there. And the kid is tough as nails, but right now safety first. And this is an exhibition here, and he's already proven that he's one of the best here. So as a young person, you got to learn how to take a step back. It's easier to miss a game or two instead of going out there and further injuring it and perhaps missing the entire, well, at this point, the fall.
Yeah, let's see what he decides to do. He'll be, I'm sure, honest with himself and see how that feels. Meantime, Taylor, who has already worked as a pitcher, puts one in the air, but it's run down. That ranging speed of Gonzalez, you bet. He turned and burned, and Dorian ran that one down, the pride of Miami, Florida.
The ball was hit. He got jammed a little bit. Tremendous first step. And that was the difference between him catching that ball or that ball falling in for a hit.
And he made it look easy. Ranging back like that on an angle, under this situation as a 14-year-old player, he made it look like second hat.
Especially with a wooden bat, too. A lot of these kids are using aluminum bats, so being able to judge that ball off of wood, you know, wow.
Darren, just to add to your checklist over there, Christian Moore is now up to 90 the last 2 fastballs, so that gives us yet another 90-plus arm on the mound.
Alejandro Rosario, Carlos Rodriguez, Alex Edmondson, Christian Moore, Ethan Wood, and Grant Taylor have all touched 90 or above. As these are, again, players playing at the 14U age group. Rock Grigio out of Simi Valley, California. The man with all the energy in his first at bat. He flied out to left and was standing on second when the play was made. He's a UCLA commit, by the way. He's worked some with Jack Wilson, the former major leaguer, great shortstop, good family man, Jack, and he lists Jack as somebody who's an inspiration of his for those 2 reasons, his faith and the fact he's a family man. But Jack was a gritty ball player. Now in that area, does a lot of coaching and teaching, a high school coach, Jack Wilson.
Yes, he's at Thousand Oaks High School, which is a nearby high school to me, and I have a few of Jack's students that I work with, and you know, Jack is absolutely on top of his game out there with those young men on the other side of the hill, as we call it. And watching this young man here, you know, very exciting young player.
So is Jaden Melendez. You talk about instincts. Your pitcher can't see the signs. Put some chalk on your fingers. He can see the signs better. Love that. Grigio will reach with a walk. Melendez.
That's straight intelligence.
That's Dad, obviously college coach. Dad's been a successful college coach at FIU, Alabama State before that, Bethune-Cookman before that. And that young man with brother MJ, who was a second-round pick in this last June's draft with the Kansas City Royals. And he was born to catch. Grigio's on. How long will he be there?
I'm thinking 1 to 2 pitches.
Okay. That one grabs the inside corner to Noah Smith. Quickly, what a surprise we had with Noah Smith. Go catch it on social media if we don't have a chance to show it to you. We may. We'll do our best. His mom, LaShonda, surprised him, surprised all of us, and let us know at the very last moment she didn't think she'd be able to get here. And she did. Out of Chicago, Illinois. And we got a phone call just hours before game time. She found us. We found our great videographer and editor, Steve Banta, and we found the story. And so Noah had a chance to get together with Mom, and he didn't think Mom would be here. And I love seeing that. He was surprised, to say the least. This is a talented young player who has been a part of the White Sox program, the White Sox Ace program, a great South Side Chicago program, predominantly African-American players. They do a great job.
And I had an opportunity to know this young gentleman. The last 2 years, he was at Elite Development Invitational that MLB Players Association and USA Baseball put together in Vero Beach, Florida. A 2-week camp. We have the younger guys, the 13 to 15-year-olds, which he was a part of the past 2 years. And we also had a 15 to 17-year-olds, which he'll be a part of next year. And we see this guy play shortstop, but he's also been moving around, which, Jeremy, as you talked about, these guys not getting fixated on one position, because once you go pro or to college, you may have to learn how to play another position, and what better time than right now to learn.
Grigio with the stolen base just a moment ago. We saw the aggression. That's a good point he's making, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, why just put yourself in one role when versatility is so key at this game at the next level collegiately?
And he does try to piece it together at all these levels. Noah Smith, hey, by the way, Mom, surprise, she's here. Here it is.
That Noah did not know I was coming down to see him. So it's such a blessing to be down here to see him live. Surprise, baby. How are you? Good to see you. Look at you smiling. Look at you. So excited for you.
Thank you.
CHD.
So it was a diving play, and it was a great effort by the pride of Sulphur, Louisiana, Brodie Drost, earlier in the game. And the wrist uncomfortable when he made that play. But he's also a two-way player with a very good arm. This is a left-hander who, on a couple of big occasions, has touched 87, 88 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, at the 2017 14U PG World Series in late July, pitching for U.S. Elite, he struck out 11 in 5 innings of work. So since he's worked hard to get out here, and we see how hard he worked to attempt to make that play, and that wrist got twisted backwards just a bit, trying to make that diving attempt. Jeremy, I ask you to describe him as a pitcher. So he's earned this opportunity. Scout him up, please.
You see him right here. You have the frame, the obvious athleticism, being an outfielder, which being a two-way at the next level saves scholarship for college coaches. You're getting 2 players for the price of 1. On the mound, it's a long, loose, fluid arm action. He's got the feel. He's got the life. He's got everything you want to look, plus he's left-handed, which is always something you want.
Out of Barb High School, Glenn Cicchini is his head coach. Cicchini, who won a couple of gold medals for the 18U national team as the head coach over the last couple of years, and has 2 sons that are professional baseball players. A very familiar name. That's Drost, head coach at Barb High School in Louisiana. And he also, by the way, plays for Ben Sheets, the former Brewer. Sheets baseball, and the breaking ball misses low from the left-hander. For the second time, Giuseppe Ferraro. He was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. Guessing he's hoping not to get hit. He wants to hit as he rolls that one foul. Ferraro's a Miami commit. This is the 5th perfect game event at which he has been seen. And this is a young man who is pride of American Heritage High School, Elite Squad Prime. How has he separated himself, Jeremy?
You just look at him digging into the box. He looks different. He's just bigger and stronger, but that doesn't take away from anything that he does. He's still fluid. You see him out at shortstop. The hands work, the body, it's all there.
He chased a fastball that time up and away. Got to feel good for the left-hander. 85 miles an hour on that last fastball, so the arm working just fine.
You see Brodie there, late life, up in the zone, got to change the eye level there, and he executed his pitch.
Yeah, he didn't take any good hacks right there. He swung at a couple of pitches out of the zone right there.
Dorian Gonzalez beaten with the fastball in right on his knuckles. Gonzalez out of Miami. Bellin Jesuit prep. His baseball team does a lot of good things, especially with the Miracle League. And you love that. I mean, having an opportunity to work with those that otherwise wouldn't be able to play the game. Oh, a bender, baby, what a pitch. I'm sorry, Dimitri, I like that one. You don't like that one, though.
Well, see, I was a switch hitter right there, so I would have been seeing that from the right side.
Left on left, spotted though.
That's the belt buckler.
But that would have kind of even been mean to a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, for the first time now I know that he has that. I'm going to be looking for that pitch with 2 strikes.
Brodie worked hard to get out there. That catching wrist feels uncomfortable, but oh, what a breaking ball. Fastball in on his knuckles, popped up to short. Not a real comfortable bit of contact. The big fella, Jablonski, trickles back and makes the play in what ends up being shallow left field.
Yeah, pick up those thumbs, little man.
Oh, you sound like a ball player now. I like that.
His hands hurt right now.
That's a breaking ball, then bzz, fastball in.
See, that's the most exciting thing for me as a coach when I'm watching a pitcher jam a hitter. To me, it's the funniest thing in baseball, especially when they break the bat and the bat doesn't die a hero.
Curveball is high. He tried to throw it to the right-hander. This is Brady House out of Winder, Georgia. Winder Barrow High School. He's a good football player, basketball player as well. High pop. That'll be a souvenir off the bat of House.
We got to see Brady pitch yesterday in the scrimmage. Athleticism, saw the play up the middle. For the colleges, they know he's a true two-way player. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, and he's young, and he's still developing.
My Chris Berman nickname for him is Brady Brick Bleep House.
Ah, Brick House, I like it. Breaking ball, a little bit on the upper tier of that strike zone. So proud of his brother Brooks, his younger brother, who's 12 years old, who has won a battle with cancer. He says as an older brother, he has had a different perspective than most. And so Brady, with some empathy that maybe some of his mates don't have, although we've heard some of the stories where his mates have had to deal with fathers or siblings that have gone through it. Breaking ball, fly ball into center field, ranging and hauling it in out there. Grigio makes the play for the out. Gutsy effort by Brodie Drost. That wrist uncomfortable, the arm just fine. Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. Finest 14U players in the land at JetBlue Park East. Squad leading it 2-0. Let's get back down to Shannon Ford. Shannon?
Guys, I've got a big smile on my face because I am with this squad who is obviously full of life. Rock Grigio leading this. I'm just going to let you talk, man.
Well, I just want to thank Jesus for this opportunity. Amen. I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my teammates. I want to thank Shannon for this opportunity.
Okay, so you're kind of the class clown, right? Where does that come from?
Comes from the heart. Yeah. Because what's from the heart is HTMH, hag doesn't measure heart. But the heart is where all the riches and values are. You know, when you talk from the heart, feel from the heart, it just comes out in a positive way.
Okay, well, what about the riches and values that you're displaying out in the outfield? You're a little guy, but your size shouldn't fool people, right?
Size is just the height, you know? You could be 6'2", you could be 5'1", you could be 4'9". It doesn't matter. Look at Jose Altuve. Shout out to Jose Altuve, by the way. What is he, 5'2"? And he's a beast. He's a beast. I just play my game and do what I do.
All right, so give us one of your cheers and throw it back to Darren Sutton up in the booth for me.
Darren Sutton.
Come on,
Darren,
Rock.
you're in trouble.
You better not let us down.
You're in trouble. Just give us a little cheer. Take us out of break.
Hey, Darren. Actually, I would joke, Darren. Okay, Darren. There's two olives, okay? And they're sitting on the counter. And then one olive falls off the counter, okay? And then the counter on top asks the olive on top asks the olive on the bottom. How you doing down there? You know what the olive on the bottom says? All in.
Oh, boy.
Bottom.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. We love him, though. He is fun. He is fearless. Good luck with him at UCLA, coaches. That talented, passionate young man. No surprise that music and drama at school at Chaminade. By the way, good luck with him at Chaminade, too. His mates down there all live. I actually kind of like that one.
That's a good dad joke right there.
That is a dad joke. That's a bad dad joke. You're exactly right. Carson Montgomery goes to work now, and this is, as we told you earlier, a fun pitcher to talk about, of Little League World Series fame out of Windermere, Florida, West Orange High School. And this is also a talented pitcher as he goes to work. We've seen him with a bat in his hands already. Carson, a member of this Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. And that's a lively arm, to say the least, Jeremy.
Yeah, you got power on power right here facing Blaze. 87 coming out right at him. No hesitation. You're going to see him just continue to fill up the zone here with the fastball.
And a breaking ball that's rolled off to the right side. Blaze, you're going by the first name. I'll remind everyone that Blaze Jordan is the #1 slugger at this age group, shrinking the ballpark the other day and hitting them out, literally out of this JetBlue Park in the Home Run Derby before the game. It's massive power. This is a young man that is a 2021 grad. So he's just a freshman in high school, but he played with 15, 16, and 17-year-olds all summer. You played up a lot, right? You played with older players a lot.
Yes, I have. Ever since the 7th grade, I'm one of the few, probably in high school history, to play 6 years of varsity. And this guy is definitely not intimidated. I was never intimidated going up to the plate against older guys. And older guys would actually try and throw even harder because, one, it's like, this kid doesn't belong here. He's too young to be here. And then when he's hitting the ball out of the park, like I was doing, you know, you show your worth by doing what you do on the field, and you know you get accepted quickly when you go up there and you embarrass the other team.
Mississippi State commit, and again, it sounds like hyperbole, but the power is incredible as he fouls that one back to the screen.
I like that swing.
Now, again, he's done it in batting practice, which is essentially what a home run derby is, but there have been home runs in action against upper-level players. He had 2 at the 14U PG World Series. He homered in all age groups. That time, though, they didn't let him get his hands extended. A breaking ball might not have been where he wanted it, but it had a great result because it was up and in.
He came up and in on a zone, and with 2 strikes, you want to stay up the middle the other way. And right here, ball was up and in. Got in the kitchen, shaking his hands, going to first base, picking up the thumbs on the way back to the dugout.
You like that? You like the thumbs thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because it hurts.
Leto out of Portage, Michigan. Takes a fastball that jumps out of the zone. Who's his favorite player? He's a middle infielder. He's from Michigan. I won't even say who it is. You folks just at home know the answer. And
#2 for the Yankees.
That's right. Tell your family and friends who are sitting around watching this game, but we don't even need to say it. Again,
because he's from Kalamazoo.
And Portage right there. Right there. Right in that same neighborhood. So no surprise. This is a player who is non-committed. Good tight breaking ball under that left-handed swing. 1-2 the count.
Virtually every fastball out of Montgomery's hands, 86, 88. Then you got that kind of a breaking ball with a changeup. The overall field just continues to develop for Carson. Earlier in the telecast, we talked about the athleticism, his ability to run a 6'8", which has only gotten better. Here you see, we've seen him up to 90, 91, athlete. That's the easiest way to describe him. He's just a pure athlete.
Look at the run on that fastball. Little comebacker, started off the plate inside and bang, ended up right down the middle.
Nasty 2-piece right there on the inner half. You know, have him frozen right there. Can't do anything about that.
2 pitches prior, you got the curveball. Then you get that there. You're just frozen. Frozen pizza, as you said earlier.
Kemp Alderman swings at a fastball that jumps right up over his bat.
Now, I talked to this young gentleman last night. What we were talking about, the verbal commit to Ole Miss, and I coached with the California Collegiate League team, the Caneo Oaks, this year, and there were 2 players from Ole Miss, DJ Miller, outfielder, and Chase Cockrell, third baseman, and he fits that mold. These big, strong, power-hitting guys, and that's what Ole Miss is apparently looking for, because this guy here fits the mold.
If you put a Rebels jersey on him right now, put him in Swayze, wouldn't look out of place physically. Talent-wise,
No.
you wouldn't think twice of him being actually a 14U type player.
6'3", 6'3" tall, big and strong, the #1 first baseman in Mississippi. Is ranked by a perfect game. And fastball still jumps and moves in that time, 3-1.
I mean, a very physical specimen right there, and he's only going to get bigger and stronger. And one thing when you're big and physical like that is to make sure that the body doesn't get out of shape, because that can very well happen with a very mature body.
See him there, just a side profile. Yes, he does play football. He plays both sides, and he's a kicker. So I don't think he ever leaves the field.
Does he play basketball as well, or does he wrestle?
I would hope so.
I can definitely see the guy wrestling.
Newton County Academy, the Generals, and Kemp Alderman does it all, as we're talking about. He's a bit of an old soul. I'll tell you why in just a moment. He's a real old soul, even maybe an older soul than I am, and that's hard to be. Christian Little gets his chance. Not a pitcher only, a pitcher who handles the bat pretty well, too. He's gone out and done some work in the outfield when Drost came out of the game.
He's a very shy individual. I talked to this young man yesterday before batting practice, and he was like, yeah, you know, I heard of you, but my dad knows you. He said, you used to play with the Cardinals. And then I met his father last night, and his father was rattling off all kind of stats that I forgot about. But it's nice to know that, you know, St. Louis does remember that I was there once upon a time.
Yeah, that's his hometown, Christian Brothers High School. And his dad had a brief professional baseball career. He was the Houston Astros 12th round pick in 01. And how much does he love baseball? Dad played 8 years of independent league baseball. That's how much he loves it.
You know, that's a lot of love right there. I coached 1 year with the Oakland County Cruisers in the Frontier League.
Getting to know these players. Getting to know these players. The finest of their age group in the land. More from Fort Myers. The Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival is brought to you by Rawlings, the #1 glove of pro players. Rawlings, the mark of a pro. And by G-Form. Tired of uncomfortable, restrictive baseball guards? Well, G-Form has fixed that. G-Form baseball guards. Stay in the game. I tell you, the gathering of these players in their rec room, that was the G-Form Ping Pong Championship slow-mo version, but they had so much fun. I think the interesting thing that stood out, Dimitri Young, and you were always a very good teammate. That's what everybody said about you. They're all from different places, different walks of life. We've talked about it, different economic and ethnic backgrounds, too. These guys really got along. I mean, there was a camaraderie that you and I, being kind of new to the group, you've seen them a lot, Jeremy. We were impressed by the camaraderie, the trust for one another, the respect for the game, and the friendships that have been found.
Fast friendship, you know, when you get into these type of situations where, you know, you're the best of the best, you know, everybody looks at each other like, okay, I know who you are, and I know who you are, and you become fast friends. And like they were talking about earlier with Blaze, you know, he didn't really know anybody and start making fast friends with everybody. So that's what baseball does. It brings people closer together.
The Mississippi-born slugger turns pitcher, because he has done that very effectively. He's shown good velocity. 89, hovering around that mark on a couple of occasions as that one dives down and away. And he's dealing with the brand new Florida International University commit, Jaden Melendez, committed to Dad's program earlier. Off the end of the bat, struck well though, center field, he's on the move.
Nice piece of hitting.
Lyle hauls it in, Melendez on a round with the slide, it's a double.
Little Pudge Rodriguez right there.
You see him throw paws up real quick at second base.
He did. That's a nice swing right there. The ball's on the middle half, but he got great extension and hit through the ball. So all it was beat.
You see the big leg lift. It's always on time. That's the thing with Jaden.
That's a challenging thing to do with that leg kick.
Yes, it's all in rhythm and timing, and he had both of it right there.
So Jaden, on paper, maybe one of the shorter players, quote unquote, 93 miles per hour off the barrel there, exit velocity.
Outstanding, thanks to TrackMan, that great human metrics gathering device. Doppler radar, 93 miles an hour exit velocity. This one is up and away to big Nick Bitsko. The shoulders are broad. I mean, there's plenty of room. He could have a much longer last name with those shoulders. Out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, #1 player in the nation. The 2021 class. Got that one off the end of the bat as well, but it's played and then misplayed. And let's watch Melendez try to scamper on home. He does. That's the 3rd run for the E squad. Can Bitsko sneak on by? He won't. He is out at second base, but a big 3rd run in this Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival for the E squad in black.
And on that play right there, as a first baseman, you try and make the play. It looked like the ball was sinking down, and the first baseman wasn't able to make that extension on that play. But he was heads up enough to make a good throw home, even though it was safe to get the out at second. So at least they got 1 out.
And there with Lawler, you got to see the footwork up the middle. He was at the 14U National, ran a 6'8", 6'7", 6'7", I believe, actually, to be precise. The footwork, the nimbleness up the middle, just the body control. You look at Jordan, he's going to keep growing.
Justin Quintana reaches on catcher's interference. And Mahler got a little bit too far up towards the swing of Quintana, which I was hoping I got to see it because he hit a couple over the boards yesterday in that home run derby. Oh, nasty breaking ball.
Well, the spark plug right here got the infield hit earlier in the game and wound up scoring after stealing and advancing on a pass, on a throw past him.
How about that throw? A beautiful throw, but a swiped bag. Mahler had it right on top of the bag there. Good aggressive running by Justin Quintana. First of all, the catch and throw.
Something we got to see. It's just so smooth and rhythmic for him. It's like just second nature for Ian.
You wowed on that one.
Yes, I did. You know, he picked the ball out of the dirt, but then before you know it, made an accurate throw to second base, but play was already... He was already there, but, you know, he stole that off the pitcher, but he was quick. I don't know exactly what his pop time was, but I mean, it was very quick and efficient.
But the hand got to the ear so fast, didn't it? I mean, it really did. A good attempt of a bunt. And that one is dropped down. Joel Perez Jr. We've seen Perez with a single in this contest. He stole a bag as well, made a diving play at third. He has been quite the hero so far. Out of Somerset Academy Charter School, Elite Squad Prime is his travel team out of Miramar, Florida. Hits it hard, middle of the diamond. He's got his 2nd hit of the night, and if it all plays just well, he'll have an RBI, trying to grab an extra bag, a little bit too aggressive. And he is thrown out. Mr. Lyle, Dalen Lyle on top of it. But another run scores, and that's an RBI for Perez. That's the 2nd really nice approach that he has had.
Yeah, great piece of hitting. Stayed up the middle and got the ball through. I'm not going to fault him for trying to advance on that throw right there. Ball got by the center fielder, so, you know, you take that chance.
Blaze Jordan's throwing, he's 86, 87 with the fastball, yet you see Joel there sit on the curveball, put it right back up the middle and find the barrel.
So Jordan's radar readings 86, 87 miles an hour thanks to TrackMan. Up to 88 now.
88.
There you go. That fastball is high and inside. Alejandro Rosario, Carlos Rodriguez, Alex Edmondson, and Christian Moore have all gone to 90 or above. These are the numbers for the West squad, thanks to TrackMan to this point. And you can see these are 14U players, folks, with big arms. That's a good athlete. He makes an easy play off the end of the bat. Regalado rolls it back to the center of the diamond. 4 big runs to the bottom half. Stand up and stretch him out. It's time for the West to get it going.
You think about going from, you know, playing against guys in your area or, you know, practicing with your teammates, you know, just going through a practice, just having fun, to everybody that is at that showcase or at that event, like you said, batting cage, no turtle, people watching, like being the center of attention, you know, while you're taking batting practice or, you know, playing on the main field at a you know, a perfect game event, and all the scouts, all the fans, the people there all watching that game, feeling like you're under that microscope. And when you're under that microscope, it's the same as being on national TV every night. I mean, I won't say the same magnitude, but the same attention to detail that people are watching. And if you look back on it, you know, Kutcher's right, it does feel like, you know, it feels like the big stage.
Just before he was traded to the Angels, Justin Upton shared with us, the Perfect Game alum, about his experience. And he mentioned Kutch, Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen recently telling us he felt like a Perfect Game event and the pressure of an event like this, just like a big league at bat. So an interesting perspective. You know who else has probably the best perspective? And that's moms. We heard earlier of the story of Noah Smith's mom, who surprised him. Well, Shannon Ford has caught up to Noah's mom, LaShonda, and we will head on down. This is great, Shannon. Go ahead.
Yep, Darren, I wandered into the stands to find Mrs. Smith and really understand why she decided to make the trip down here. Mrs. Smith, what was it like to surprise Noah?
It was absolutely amazing to see his eyes sparkle, and the biggest smile that I haven't seen in such a long time, to be so happy to see his mom present, to watch him live versus at home on television. He asked me about 2 weeks ago, Mom, are you going to surprise me and come down? I'm like, no, I'm not sure, you know. And so when I came today, he like really was so shocked and hugged me so tight and gave me so many kisses, and I was just really happy to be here, you know, and physically to see him perform.
And I'm sure that he's super happy that you're here as well. What's it like to be a parent at these events?
You know, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of courage, because you see your children out there maybe making mistakes, and, you know, you feel the mistakes that they make, but through it all, you encourage them to continue to work towards what they need to do in order to better themselves in the sports, not only just with the sports, but academics as well. So I like to let them balance the two.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people miss that courage part that it takes to be a parent. Thank you so much, Mrs. Smith, and I'm sure Noah is excited that you're here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Guys.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Chicago State University grad LaShonda Smith. That's Mom Wendell, his dad, and this is a young man. When you talk about Noah, you've seen him work well tonight in the outfield. He actually spoke at his 8th grade graduation ceremony to Noah. I think I can see where he got it from right there. Isaac Rodriguez, who took a shot at a double down the right field line in the batter's box out of Southern California. And over the inside corner. 2-2 the count to Isaac. And by the way, a new arm out there to deal with for these young men. Cole Wagner, who we've seen with a bat in his hand out of Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, Redland High School. He's a really talented all-around athlete. That's a pretty good secondary pitch. Off speed, misses outside.
Yeah, with Cole, you're going to get a full 3-pitch mix. In a pitch you don't often see at this level is his cutter. Gets into the low 80s already, and he knows how to pitch. He knows how to set up hitters, and he knows, more importantly, how to execute from the left side.
Fastball up and in. Really tough to handle for Isaac Rodriguez, so down he goes. A young man who plays well on the pitch, was the MVP of the soccer team, deals this pitch.
Jeremy, like you said, he mixes his pitches up well, has the hitter very uncomfortable to the point where he got him swinging out of the zone for strike 3.
He knows it.
Ian Mahler out of Dubuque, Iowa. Top catcher in the country. The breaking ball dips over the outside corner to Mahler for strike 1. Ian's mom is Shannon, dad is Steven. He said, what motivates me? My dad gets up early every morning. So my family can have a better life. My mom works very hard. It's interesting when young men are pretty eyes wide open, and that's how Ian is. You're really impressed by the work ethic his family shows.
And in turn, he's also doing that.
Good secondary pitch. Thanks to TrackMan, we've been keeping an eye on the velocity, and 93 for Rosario, 87 for Carter. Rodriguez touching 90 with Edmondson, 91, Moore 90, and Montgomery on the mound topping out at 88 miles an hour.
Wagner here. You're seeing him up to 84 so far with the fastball, but you're seeing the pitchability, and you know the velocity is going to continue to climb. We've seen him up to 87 already. 2 batters, 2 Ks. It speaks to what he brings to the mound more so than just a radar gun.
Oh, he's a pitcher, isn't he? This is a true pitcher.
Yes, he is a pitcher. He also has a bat, too, so he might have to do in 3 years what Hunter Green had to do this past year. But actually, the Reds have him DHing when he's not pitching.
Perfect game All-American Hunter Green, and a young man that was also a great product of Major League Baseball's RBI program. The Urban Youth Academy is a great story. The 3rd overall pick in the draft, and a Cincinnati Reds farmhand now.
Yes, and Hunter Green participated in the very first EDI, the Elite Development Invitational, where Jerry Manuel is the head coordinator there, and we have a bunch of ex-ball players there as coaches. And it's a great event every single year in the dog heat of July.
The EDI. This is the PG. Great gathering. 4-0. We were talking earlier about the exploits and the work on the mound, and you can see who Cole Wagner has become with that great pitchability. You were going to tell us that this Little League World Series hero repeats his mechanics very well. You don't have to tell us. Look at that. That's incredible.
It's right there. You see the look in his eye. He's got a plan on the mound, and it's carried to his 15-year-old self.
I'm looking at the exact same thing, and it's just wow. So he does have a decision to make in a few years what he's going to do, especially if he goes pro like his father did.
Well, how about we see him hit? And picture this. A lot of memories being made for that young man.
Is that Mrs. Montgomery?
Well, that just may be. If in fact that is, and that's Connie, mom. Dad is Corey. Getting up close as the younger Montgomery will hit. Look, Leto is on the mound, and obviously this is a player who we've talked about on the West squad. Brodie Drost, Kemp Alderman, Blaze Jordan, and Luke Leto out of Michigan. 4 two-way type players that can work on the mound. So Leto, a 2021 grad. We've seen him play very solid athletically. Jeremy Brown joining us. Cross checker for Perfect Game, Dimitri Young, longtime major leaguer, but Jeremy with an H, we call him H a lot. We've seen Leto play athletically in the middle of the infield. Who is he as a pitcher?
I mean, you see him, and if you put him just on the mound, it's like he's a pitcher. And then you see him do what he does on the in the infield, and it's like he's an infielder. And you put it together, and you got one of the top 40 players here.
There you go. It's an athlete, an all-around guy. Good breaking ball with dive to it. To Carson Montgomery, who struck out back in the 4th inning. Fastball turned loose.
First 2 fastballs for Leto have registered 89 and 88 miles per hour with the 74 curveball in between.
And a fastball there over the outer half. Runs the count even to 2-2. Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. Top half of the 8th inning. The West squad is a squad in blue. See that blue jersey? He's got to tuck that in. Maybe, maybe not. The East squad is the squad in black. They've had fun with each other all week long. Another good bender, but it's taken low. I don't know how you take that pitch.
You know, I was just watching this at bat being quiet just so I can focus on what I would look for as a hitter against a young man like this with electric fastball, with a good breaker, but Montgomery eyeballed him the entire time and drew himself a walk.
Darren, just for your checklist over there, last fastball from Luke Leto, 90 miles an hour.
Touching 9-0, huh?
90 last fastball.
Pitch misses outside. 1-0 the count. A couple of pitchers getting a chance to hit back-to-back. This is Christian Moore with his second at bat. The batting order basically is not 9. It's all the players that can hit or will hit. Position players or pitchers that are part-time position players. So if you get your 2, if you end up with a 3rd at bat in the game, that's a real big win.
Yeah, that means that the team is scoring and they're getting bats into the lineup. So it's very exciting to watch these guys. And like he took that on the pitcher, and there was no communication right there. That was an easy stolen base for Mr. Montgomery right there.
Nobody there at second base.
Which will happen in an all-star game.
Yeah, there was a lack of communication right there.
Again, some of these players they're all playing together for the first time. It's bound to happen.
Good lively fastball, more swings right through it.
And that in itself will talk about the whole thing about the travel ball, where development needs to come in, where you got to learn where to play, what different situations come up. And I know that's always been a question that's been going on for the last few years with travel ball versus development. And when you play the game, that's development in itself. You just need to have explanation that goes on with it when a play happens and it's not the right play.
That's a heck of a breaking ball, and down he goes. My goodness, what a pitch there. Moore goes down on strikes. You talk about the athleticism to have the balance on the mound to get on top of a pitch like that. If you call yourself a good all-around athlete, obviously, then in fact you have a pitch like that. That's a pitch that is not taught. I mean, it's tough to throw that pitch for young pitchers. A lot will go to sliders as that younger pitcher, or cut fastball. That's a true 12-6 hammer. In on the hands, Pena lifts it. Third base side, tracking and running out of room.
One thing I can say about all these pitchers today is they all have lively arms, and hopefully they're doing the pitch smart thing and taking care of their arms and doing what they have to do after the game, icing or doing heat, you know, all those different things to take care of that arm, because that can be their moneymaker.
Line drive right field. That one is down for a base hit. Eric Pena is on the move. He planks another run for the E squad. Pena standing up with the double. That bat slicing through the zone. A beautiful swing.
Great piece of hitting. Got his hands to the ball. Didn't try and do too much. But with that Robinson Cano swing right there, you're going to do stuff like that. Yeah, you was waiting for something like that.
Look at how easy the hands are. He's 6'3". He's nowhere close to being filled out. Runs a 6'8". 95 miles per hour off the barrel there down the line.
And what I wrote about that young man was free and easy hands and absolutely violent. And that was a violent swing.
Eric Pena, Distrito Nacional, the Dominican Republic. And those hands, as we said, exploding through the zone. Remember Sarge, Gary Matthews?
What about Sarge? I used to do that my doggone self.
Did you?
Yes, I kicked that helmet out, and I got that from the Sarge, too. He was my hitting coach in the Arizona Fall League in '97.
Rolled out to the third base side. Long throw across the diamond. Colon on a 5-3 ground out, but Eric Pena with a beautiful piece of hitting moves to third with a double.
Backtrack quick on Pena. Being from the Dominican Republic, he's an international signee. He's not draft eligible.
That's what he's talking about.
See, that's after an out right there. You see that mad look?
You're allowed to finish.
July 2nd is a signing time.
Right.
He can't sign this year. It's another year.
Okay.
That's 2 more full years of development.
And he stands at third right now as that one is fouled off.
That's a beautiful look right there. That's a look like I'm about to eat at a buffet afterwards.
And you're a lean, mean fighting machine now, my friend.
Well, yes.
You played a bigger guy when you played.
Yeah, I did the exact opposite of what people do when they retire.
Most players do, yes. You retired and got lean. That's awesome.
Well, it's either that or die. I'm type 1 diabetic.
I knew you'd get real with us, and we appreciate that. Center square, look at him. I mean, there's just nothing. He fits right in that center square. Chases up and in. 1-2 the count. To the catcher, Joe Mack.
No, Joe Mack's been taking healthy swings all night. And when you have power like that, you're supposed to take healthy swings like that.
His mom, Christine, an outstanding athlete, a volleyball player. And Joe plays volleyball as well. He plays competitively. So it helps me athletically to play another sport, plays basketball, plays it very well. He was his volleyball team MVP, Williamsville East High School. Joe Mack. It's a great baseball name.
That is a great baseball name right there.
Short, simple, to the point.
Joe Mack. You can't just say it normal, can you?
No. Broken bat.
He broke his bat that time.
$150 down the drain.
It did not die a hero.
It did not die a hero. There were a lot of heroes, though, in August. Perfect Game's first ever 14U National Showcase, really expanding at that age group. Expect more next year regionally. The 14U National Showcase, the eyes, the scouts, Jeremy, one of them, helping to build this Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival All-American team.
Welcome back to the Perfect Game Festival. I'm down here with two guys on the East squad that are very familiar as competitors, not so much as teammates. Cole Wagner out of Pennsylvania and Alex Edmondson out of South Carolina. You two met in the 2015 Little League World Series. Cole, they call that game power versus power. Power in you as a pitcher and power in Alex as a hitter. I know that he scored a 3-run homer off of you in that game. What was that experience like for you?
Honestly, that was the best game of Williamsport, even though it was pool play. I mean, that was awesome competing against Alex and then his really good team. And that at-bat was one I'll always remember. That was an epic battle, and it was really cool.
And talk to me about your repetition at the plate.
Repetition at the plate. You know, I work really hard, and a baseball swing is something that is never perfected, and so it's something you always have to work with and make subtle adjustments as you go. Sometimes it's in the game, sometimes it's throughout the week, so I'm definitely constantly working on my swing.
And Alex, tell me about that 3-run homer. How good did it feel?
Oh, it was awesome. I remember him throwing 2 fastballs right by me, and I'm like, I'm just trying to, I don't even know, but I remember the next pitch was right down the middle, and I swing. And as soon as I hit it, I knew it was gone.
And now you guys are teammates on this East squad. What's it like to be teammates out here?
Oh, it's awesome.
All right, guys.
Good stuff, and Little League World Series memories. And I tell you, hearing those guys talk throughout the time, and we appreciate them sharing it now. Shannon, good stuff. And Nicholas Regalado is on the mound. They're getting older. They're getting older quickly, but you never forget an opportunity like that. I mean, you never forget it. And a lot of questions being asked by their teammates. And we remind you, these players, as that fastball is blown right by him. Jordan Lawler had a tough time handling that one from Regalado.
87 there for Regalado on his fastball. You're seeing him coming right out. Fastball, curveball, fastball, strikeout.
Quick work right there.
And he waited a moment, letting his teammates do that interview. Here's a little bit more in his stuff.
You see, they're physically imposing. He's just a big, strong body build. You see him with the power. You see him with the power arm. Again, college commitment, Miami, two-way type player. Most bang for your buck as a college recruiter.
Isaac Pacheco rolls that one foul first base line. We've loved getting to know that coaching staff. Austin Flores and A.J. Reyes in blue on the West squad. Gary White, Pete Garcia in black on the East squad. All really successful local high school coaches who give their time to work with these young men. Breaking ball, that's a hammer and a swing and a miss.
That's the kind of stroke that I like to see out of hitters right there, because if you make contact with it, something good is going to happen, but nothing good is going to happen on a nasty pitch like that.
Isaac takes up and out of the zone. Isaac's mom is Leslie, dad is Jerry. Plays for the Banditos program, the Banditos black team. Breaking ball again. We talk about staying on top, getting good downward dive on a pitch. That's exactly what happens when you see the work of Regalado. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Yeah, that's a true power pitcher right there. You know, has a intimidating fastball, and that.
7 pitches so far, 6 strikes, 2 strikeouts. He's being efficient while still showing his stuff.
I didn't know he was allowed to pitch with wristbands on. must be an oversight from the umpires.
Line to the left side. Nice job by Gonzalez, ranging to his left. Hunter Tablansky, that's the right decision. You get a fastball away, you shoot it the other way. But the good news for the E squad, that's exactly right, is that Dorian was there. You got to listen to the meat hook.
Hit him where they ain't.
Hey, let's go, my boys.
So many great affiliates around the land that have picked up this game, and the Fox Sports family, and this also great partnership with Major League Baseball, MLB.com. And that's been fun. And Eric Peña's been fun, saying hello to family and friends and loved ones. Carmen, his mom, Elkis, his dad, Distrito Nacional in the Dominican Republic. And we saw the athleticism for Eric Peña earlier. The FIU commit. Now Kemp Alderman. As we said, there's a half dozen two-way players on the West squad. Big, strong, a slugger, and also a pitcher. Kemp Alderman.
Yeah, I mean, you see Kemp, he's physical, he's strong, he's loose, and he's athletic. I've seen him pitch a couple times, always up to 88, pounds the zone, and it's an attack mode mentality. He's going to come right at you.
Yeah, what will happen if he hits you? Are you going to charge the mound, or are you just going to go to first base?
I think you put your bat down politely and just walk.
I love it.
You might say, I'm sorry for being hit, and just go on.
Yeah, his mound presence reminds me of an old teammate, Kyle Farnsworth.
That's a good call. That is a very good call by you.
Yeah, Kyle Farnsworth was a judo master, so he was not the guy to mess with on the mound. Just ask Paul Wilson.
Funky sinking fastball down and into Mario Zabala. Zabala, we've seen the young man out of San Juan in Puerto Rico and his athleticism.
One thing from Kemp here that we haven't seen from any other pitcher, working exclusively out of the stretch, keeping things simple, just coming at you with your fastball.
Hit hard to the right side. Tablansky has moved over to play the second base spot, down to a knee, and he makes the play for the out. Check that little shake-up over there. That's actually Jordan Lawler, who is doing his work now at second base.
Again, tremendous hustle by Zabala. You don't expect that out of a big man, but that's what happens in the game of baseball. Evolution. Bigger, faster, stronger, more intelligent, better instincts.
And younger.
Very.
Wagner with a big swing, fouls that one back to the screen. We're talking about the great regions that have joined us. Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports Detroit, Fox Sports Florida. A lot of players in that region are watching. Also watching live on Fox Sports Midwest, Fox Sports North and South. 0-1 the count, top of the ninth inning.
With a slightly closed stance.
Up in the Northeast, MSG Plus is with us, and Roots Sports in the Northwest region. Fox Sports Wisconsin. Hello, Milwaukee. Are you watching? Are you watching that one? It's a fly ball center field. Leaving his feet in the end to make the play. Lyle puts that one away. We've seen this great athlete all week long, Dalen Lyle out of Louisville, Kentucky, the Indiana commit. That one knuckled on him just a little bit.
He made an incredible adjustment on that play right there. Keeping the ball in front of him and also catching it.
And a good piece hitting from Cole to get the barrel in on a sinking fastball, 86 mile an hour on his hand. Still didn't get enough of it, but still got the barrel to it.
The third time we get to see Jeffrey Waters, still just 13 years old, and here's the catcher talking about.
Great adjustment to make the play right there. That's the most important thing, is catching the ball.
Thought we're going to get to see Waters run there.
We almost did.
I like to see him hit one over the center fielder's head into that 420 area and just see him run like a gazelle.
I've seen it this summer. It's definitely possible. His power plays to all fields. And we're talking to him in BP, he sees a monster and he goes, that's not really my approach. I'm more of a line drive, middle opposite field type. So even at 13, he understands the subtle nuances of hitting and not to readjust his approach.
A couple of balls hit hard, third base line, nearly got to see him run.
And to add on to that, with that approach that he has in time, those gappers are going to become doubles and eventually become home runs.
No doubt.
Curtis Granderson, a big inspiration. Jason Hayward, a perfect game alum. and a perfect game All-American. One of his favorite players. He says when he locally made it to the Braves before he moved on, that was a huge highlight for me. I've followed Jason's career all time. He closes that stance up a little bit. On the outside corner, down he goes on strikes. That's good stuff. Fun watching Kemp Alderman work. That is closer kind of stuff with a little attitude to go with it as well. 3 outs in the East. They're the victors. We'll take a final look at the West velocities. And thanks to our good friends with TrackMan, some of the arms we've seen tonight. For Little 86, Wood 90, Hector 88 miles an hour, Taylor touching 92, 85, 85, and Jordan, Leto, and then Alderman with that nasty sink and life to it. You were saying, Jeremy, when you talked about the numbers, as Jeffrey Waters will do some work on the mound, the great all-around athlete, that it's kind of shocking to you. These are 14U players. You've seen these players all summer long, but these numbers, and they're very incredibly accurate thanks to TrackMan. What's your takeaway?
You see them all summer, and you know it's there, and then when they all come together and you see them as a whole, it's like, holy cow. These are 14U players, 85, 86, 92. It's just incredible.
They're reminding everyone, don't take off. There may be a great surprise with the most valuable player and some fireworks after as well. Dalen Lyle to lead things off. We told you Jeffrey Waters, outfielder and right-handed pitcher, the still 13-year-old out of South Cobb High School. So is this a very raw pitcher? What do we have here, Jeremy Brown?
So you see him out of the stretch, keeping things simple again, just like we saw with Kemp. And there you have it. It's easy. It's loose. And maybe I don't think he knows how good he is.
Okay.
Yet. It's just so repeatable, though. First pitch out of his hand, 87.
Wow.
And
87 miles an hour, comfortable, too.
It's so effortless. First time I saw him, I was sitting down the line. I think maybe 82. Look at the scoreboard, 87, 88. It's like, holy cow.
You know, you made a statement saying he probably doesn't know how good he is. I don't even think he knows where his ceiling's at. And I don't even think he really cares. He looks like he just goes out there and he enjoys playing the game, and he's just ultra talented.
All throughout the weekend at the hotel, wherever you saw him, breakfast, lunch, dinner, players' lounge, just walking to the elevator, there's always a smile on his face. He's just
always
so charismatic and just, 88 miles per hour there on the fastball. He just keeps growing every time we see him, and so humble, but yet so happy.
Melendez out with a quick conversation, and yeah, very, very good parents, Jeffrey Waters, Deirdre and Aaron. And when we look at velocities, we'll go ahead and update it with Waters touching 88. This is top to bottom with Rosario and Rodriguez, Edmondson and Moore, and then a whole bunch up in the high 80s. The elite, thanks to TrackMan velocity numbers for the East squad tonight. 1-2 the count to Dalen Lyle, the Indiana commit out of Louisville, Kentucky. Fastball in on the hands. He loves Mookie Betts, Dalen's favorite player, Mookie Betts. And he's like Betts was as a younger athlete. Dalen's a really good all-around athlete. The defensive MVP on his basketball team. He's at Trinity High School in Kentucky.
So being a Mookie Betts fan, does he like bowling?
I'm not sure if he likes bowling, but is he a good enough athlete to do what we said on the basketball court? He played really well in a PG spring kickoff event, hitting for the cycle for Tri-State Arsenal, was the MVP of that one. That one sails up and away to Dalen Lyle.
For another quick metric here from TrackMan, 6'7" on the extension for Waters. He's not even 6 foot tall. That means he's really getting the ball out there. We talked about the length of his arms before. It all adds up to this.
Yeah, he has tremendous wingspan.
There's a little noise down there for the West squad. Look, they're trying to kind of get the skunk out of the box, as an old color analyst of mine used to say. get a run on that scoreboard.
Well, you know,
get a hit on that scoreboard. They're about to be no hit.
Rock is in there chattering loud, I bet.
No, I'm not sure, by the way. And I think there may or may not have been a hit throughout the evening based on the casual official scores. I'm not ready to call it a no-hitter. And there was a pitch as that's strike 100. Templansky reached back in the 4th inning. This official score gave it a hit. Yeah, there's one hit. There's one hit, by the way, on the board. They're off just a bit.
There's Rock
Grigio. So there being one hit. There being no run, though. We like to call that shutout in baseball.
There goes.
Lylan on the move. And he is in there. Dalen Lyle with the stolen base.
Properly holds up, too. Thought about going, then you see Mario coming.
Yeah,
you're not going to test that arm.
And you don't want to test it. His run's not important. So it would be dumb for him to try and advance on there with absolutely no outs.
Oh, but it is important, Dimitri. They need that run.
Yeah, the first one, but they don't want to run themselves into an out, especially making the first out at third base.
It's an opportunity to drive in a run for Tyler Whitaker. We see him swing for the 2nd time. The pitcher, an occasional hitter out of Nevada. Over the outside corner with the fastball. Whitaker pitching very effectively earlier in this game for the West squad. He was the pitcher, if you remember, good life, good sink on the fastball. Topping out at 85 miles an hour in this 14U game.
We've seen him up to 87 in the past. There's so much more left in the tank, too, with that Tyler.
Just a little bit low from the young and athletic Jeffrey Waters. Waters, by the way, in the classroom, science, but he's more specific. Herpetology, the study of reptiles. That is his favorite aspect of science. Reptiles.
The study of reptiles.
Reptiles. Just thought I'd open that Pandora's box and see where you might go with it.
I'm going nowhere with it. I'm
Okay,
closing
good.
it. I don't like reptiles. I don't like snakes. I don't like iguanas. I don't like little lizards.
Pretty good pitch.
Oh.
That's a strike. Drop third strike. And fires it on to third. There was an out front at first to get, though. And so now everybody's safe. Maybe a little fatigue setting in for these young men. Let's see if they can button it up and take it to the finish line at this 14U All-American game. There was an out at first to get on that drop third. I'm thinking Melendez might not have thought that he got a called third strike from Lou Marotti.
No, and he threw the ball to third base, and sometimes in baseball that happens. You just don't want the other team to capitalize and, make this a ball game right here.
Bouncing ball rolled. Raleigh Hector. There's one. That's all they will get. The West squad, they score a run. Raleigh Hector gets his opportunity to swing the bat. Reaches on a fielder's choice, and a run crosses the plate. Dalen Lyle makes his way on home, and now it's an opportunity for Grant Taylor. Young man out of Florence, Alabama. Five to 1 the score. The East squad leads it. It's been so much fun tonight. And what happens a lot in Elite All-Star games in the big leagues, at the Perfect Game All-American Classic, and even in a game like this at the 14U age group, the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival, the arms dominate, and that's what's going on tonight.
And Jeffrey Waters being 13 years old, there's a pretty good chance he's going to be right back here next year.
Swing and a miss. Right under the hands there. Lively, good movement on that fastball.
He looks like a grown man on the mound right there.
Mapleton, Georgia. South Cobb High School. Strike three.
He's painting that outer half right now. With angle, with life, 85 on the last pitch there. It's just, it's so easy.
He makes it look very, very easy.
Your two guys from the top of the broadcast.
Oh, here
mano
they
y
go
mano.
right here.
Rock Grigio reached on a walk, swiped a bag back in the 5th inning, fly to left field. Young Rock out of Simi Valley, California. Chaminade prep. Runner on the move with the slide. That's a stolen base, so it's an RBI opportunity for Grigio. Probably Hector with the stolen base.
Yeah, he stole that on the pitcher, and Waters really didn't care about that, but that was actually a good jump by Hector. Way to be heads up to take away the force.
Takes outside. 2-0 the count on Grigio. Gold medalist with the squad that was victorious, the U15 Team USA. Already at this age group has made quite a name for himself as that breaking ball stays high. 2-1 the count to Grigio. Stay with us, by the way. We'll share with you the most valuable player of this game. We're certainly glad you spent the evening with us. These young men have had an incredible week here in Fort Myers, Florida, and capping it here at JetBlue Park. Spring training home of the Boston Red Sox.
You see Rock here working a count yet again. 3-1, all-star type setting. Even then, he's not expanding the zone, and that speaks to how he's such a good hitter and always finds a barrel. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and then more often than not, he's going to execute.
You're right. Very disciplined hitter. Doesn't go outside the zone too much. Right here, really doesn't need to.
And he takes low. That is ball 4, so Grigio on for the 2nd time. Yeah, there's the most valuable player trophy. There's the decision going on down there. Ben Ford handles all of the Florida operations for Perfect Game. Former Major Leaguer Ben Ford. Major League pitcher, his father, Jerry Ford, the founder of Perfect Game back in 1995. That's strike 1 to Noah Smith.
That's a nice trophy that they had. It's not like the one that they had for my brother's team when we won it back in 2001. It was a big 6-foot trophy. But lucky for me at the time, living in Fort Lauderdale, the tournament was in Jupiter. I was able to put it in my F-350 and drive it home.
Delman's team won the World Wood Bat Association Championship on Jupiter.
Yeah, way back in 2001.
0-2 the count. This young right-hander with the breaking ball, and the East squad is victorious. They win it, and that is the way to cap it off. The young right-hander, Jeffrey Waters, with a bender. The East wins the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. And it went down with that.
What a nasty pitch out of the zone. Noah Smith could do nothing but that.
Talking about the fastball, then he breaks that out. It's just good night.
Very impressive. 13 years old.
Great young all-around athlete, and certainly as these young men shake hands with one another, they've enjoyed their week. This community has enjoyed their impact. Golisano Children's Hospital. These young men got together. They visited those that were struggling, families, a part of what they're going through at the Children's Hospital, the local Lee County Children's Hospital, and these teams combining to raise nearly $25,000 for the fight against pediatric cancer. We'll do our best to get the most valuable player after these handshakes over and hand out that MVP. All right, Dimitri, this age group's in good hands. These young men, they understand the importance of making good decisions. You got that part when you spent the first 3 days with them. Now you see the talent tonight. What's the ball player in you think?
The ball player in me thinks oppositions on the field, friends for life. These guys bonded together like nobody's business, and you see the class that they have, the sportsmanship that they're showing, and after this exhibition, they're shaking hands, and they're going to go on their separate ways, and they're going to meet up again next year.
Jeremy, you've scouted these players all year long. You have seen what type of talent it takes to get to this point. Very briefly before we...
It's a culmination of all their hard work. They got to come out, they got to compete, they got to make friends for life.
Let's go down to Shannon Ford. She is standing by with the most valuable player of this game, Joel Perez Jr. out of Miramar, Florida. Shannon, take it away.
Guys, as you can see, Ben Ford, the godfather of this 14U game, just handed Joel Perez the Most Valuable Player Award. Joel, what does this award mean to you?
I mean, it represents what, like, what baseball's about. Like, you just have to have fun, go out there, and like if you don't have fun, like there's no point of you being on the field.
It looked like you had a very good time out there, especially in that third inning. You had that phenomenal diving catch at third base, and then you scored a run. What was going through your head? Guys, I just got drenched, and Joel has all smiles. I'll try and grab him to discuss more about that catch. What an outstanding player. And the MVP trophy is broken. All right, Joel, tell me about that catch. You're now drenched. I'll help you hold this.
Well, I saw it off the bat, and like I just reacted. When I react, it usually comes out to be a good thing.
Are you so excited right now? What's the first thing you're going to do after this victory and this MVP win?
Well, I'm going to go to the clubhouse with my boys, have a great time, and, and have fun with them. Because if I wouldn't have gotten this without them.
And maybe do yourself a favor and put some glue on this trophy right away. Have so much fun. Enjoy that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good stuff, Shannon Ford. And look out. Everyone look out. He's got crystal in his hand. You're making him run around. Guess what happens with 14-year-olds? They're 14-year-olds, and despite their talent, they're supposed to be young, and he'll make sure he gets that fixed, certainly. And enjoy the work of Shannon Ford, Jeremy Brown, Dimitri Young. My name is Darren Sutton. This has been, on behalf of Perfect Game, the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. Our producer, Kyle Lang. Our coordinator, Steve Banta. And what a great job with John Walsh, the leader of this show, coming down. My name is Darren Sutton. We thank all of our affiliates alongside of Perfect Game and Major League Baseball. We'll see you next year at the Perfect Game Select Baseball Festival. Good night, everyone.